Well, welcome back, everyone, to Wake of the Red Death, a Midgheim campaign set in roughly 1,000 years after the Wizard School Mysteries novels, for those of you who read my books, and in the wake of a horror. Yeah, they're good books. I think they're quite nice. Our story is set after a plague known as the Red Death ravaged the magical land of Midgheim for about a decade, killing between 45% and 50% of all animal life, magic and otherwise. And our heroes, a quintet of strangers brought together by a man named Folly the Fence, just managed to kill a horrible wizard named Ranzagar and steal a marvelous red jewel he had crafted, which is none other than a philosopher's stone. Perhaps the most powerful magic jewel that can be created. Our heroes just brought back the Philosopher's Stone to the town of Mercurio, specifically the bar where they met Folly the Fence, and where Folly the Fence is currently chowing down on a delicious leg of mutton. He sees you all pop in. His eyes go wide. He swallows his current bite, puts down the mutton leg. You're back.
It was surprisingly uneventful.
Did you get it?
That and it dumps all the 1 through 13.
Books? The dead kite wings?
Yes.
Oh, right.
And 14, the kite wing, completely apathetic to the sight of his its dead predecessors, is bouncing up and down on its little robot legs, going, "We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it! We did it!"
That we did.
Folly, takes a moment to register that this actually succeeded. And the wide eyes amazement breaks into just absolute euphoria. I knew it! Oh my duckies, I knew you were the right choice! I'd hug you if you'd let me!
You could have told us of the previous 13 teams you sent in.
I did tell you that I sent previous teams and that they had not come back, so...
Did he say 13?
I didn't say
a number, but he did tell us people died.
I didn't list a number. I didn't want to make you disheartened.
I suppose this one being called 14 was a...
Admittedly, that was a bit of a hint.
Although that's more on me, the player, because it's been 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's fine.
You also neglected to tell us that it was a Philosopher's Stone.
As I told you, I knew it was some sort of red gem made by magic. I didn't know specifically what sort of gem. I was told it would look like a ruby or a garnet, just big and magic. I'm not a wizard. I don't study these concepts. I know how to describe an item that I'm sending people after in as much detail as I'm given.
Fair enough.
Besides, why are we scrutinizing it now? You succeeded. We should celebrate. What do you want? What sort of food can we get you?
Is everyone's eyes on Gore?
He's been squinting at Folly this time. He goes, for essentially since the started, because again, he feels a bit ripped off. And he's like, well, let us start with the... Just leans in close. Pickled eggs.
Pickled eggs, please.
Spicy. Something spicy.
Something spicy as well.
I think I like that.
So whatever for an insight, just double insight.
Yeah, you can just do double insight. Yeah.
I'm just trying to get a feel of is Folly really on the level.
Afraid he might shank us while we sleep and take the rock.
That is a 10, which I think is
Yeah, 10 is generally like the difficulty level of checks unless stated otherwise. The man's elated. He is so fucking happy. Like you can tell that he did genuinely believe in you guys as much as he could believe in anybody succeeding at this task. After 13 groups of people he assembled did not come back, and as the dead Kitewing show, probably did not make it out alive. He's especially elated that not only did you survive, but you brought back the gem. That he has succeeded. And like his happiness at this mission being pulled off is so overwhelming of his person that there is no room in his mind for subterfuge at the moment. Like, he is as genuinely happy with you guys as a person could be. And his statement of, I could hug you if you'd let me, was 100% true. Like, he is genuinely thankful for you getting this done.
No hugs.
I don't
That's fine.
think I
I
can.
assumed.
Well, if you would like a hug, then
No,
I'm
it's
not
fine.
opposed
It's
to it.
fine, my duckies. Okay. Well, he reaches into his bag and he pulls out 5 pouches. And I should. What did I end up naming Midgeheim money? Give me 1 second. Bum 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 ba-dum bum. So inside each bag are 1,000 imperial numerius denarii, which is to say 1,000 gold pieces, i.e. 1,000 zenit in in-game currency.
how much?
Okay.
1,000 in each sack, and there are 5 sacks, 1 for each of you. He passes those out with a broad grin. He's like, all right. Consider this a payment for the first part of the job.
first.
First,
To deliver it.
it does need to be delivered to the city of Emerald Towers. Now,
Also, how much
I
did
understand.
Zenny made last time?
What?
How much Zenny did we all get last time each?
I don't fucking remember.
DZ did math. So
Mhm.
we'll have to find where DZ did that.
So this is in addition to whatever you got last session.
Yeah.
1,000 plus.
Because I had 220.
Okay, that was 2,400 each.
So we all
So we
have
have-
3,400.
Plus whatever you have left over from your
Yeah.
building your character.
All right.
'Cause I saw one
So
left over from that.
here's what you need to know. Now, obviously, you lot have gone through a harrowing experience, and I understand why you were a little aggressive with me when you got back, given how many of your predecessors there were. I
It
understand.
wasn't all that harrowing.
And if you want to tap out now, that's fine. Take your money and go.
He was a shitty wizard.
But if you agree to ferry this to the city of Emerald Towers, again, everything I promised you, I know that my master will be willing to give and do. But this journey will be longer. And he... Oh, that's nice. He gets out a map. And I'm going to post this in the general banter of Campaign 2. And he marks on your map where Ozymandias' Oasis, the city of Emerald Towers, is. And looking at the map, you guys are in Mercurio. And if you look on the map in-game, I'm going to point out where Mercurio is. And Ozymandias' Oasis is all the way over here. Mercurio, Ozymandias' Oasis. Mercurio, Ozymandias' Oasis. As you can see, that is quite a trip. And again, if you're done with this, if you want to move on, I understand. Take your money, have a good life. But if you're willing to make the trip, I promise it will be worth your while. In fact, I'll even do you one better. I'll give you an outline of what I would suggest to do in terms of getting there. And I'm going to post a second map that shows Folly's suggestions. Now, first things first, to get there, you're going to have to go through the Dream Woods. From what I've heard, it's an enchanted forest. Fairies dwell there. But it's been very quiet as of late because of the plague, I assume. Used to be people would go in there and get transformed or fall in love with strangers and other weird things, but not very much has happened lately. Now, going through the Dreamwood, your path will eventually diverge. You could go towards Vestia, or you could go towards Junotonia. Now, Junotonia is the second largest city in this part of Mediterra. There will be great shopping there, but you'll also be very close to Jupitami, which means it's very likely you will meet people from Jupitami who might shake you down for possessions to bring to the Emperor, which would include the Philosopher's Stone. Very risky, very dangerous. I suggest not going that way. Whereas Vestia is a much smaller town, so you might not be able to get as many good supplies there, but it will be a slightly safer trip. After that, you can go along the road past Jupitami, be relatively safe, until you get into your second crossroads, and where you can either go to Cerasterial or to Minervans. If you go north to Cerasterial, it's the shorter path to Ozymandias' Oasis, but you'll have to go through the Dianean Forest, and from what I've heard, it's grown particularly wild in post-plague years without people patrolling it. Whereas if you go through Minervans, you'll be able to go through the city of Minervans and the city of Bacchanalia, both of which are coastal and have a great deal of trade, and likely will have better opportunities for you to get good gear and keep yourself safe on the journey. But it will be a longer trip. Now, my duckies, I wish I could come with you if you were to undertake the journey, but the fact of the matter is I have to remain here in Mercurio for a bit longer, and after that I have some other business of which I have to take care of for my master Ozymandias.
Are you able to say what?
It involves intelligence on the Mars militia. You don't have to worry too much about that. I would avoid any militiamen if you see them, though. They've, well, I'm sure you've heard the rumors.
Alex will tap a finger on Jupitami. It's like, you said they would shake us down for possessions to get to the Emperor, but I thought the Emperor was dead.
The acting Emperor is not.
There is a line of succession.
And a court.
That line is temporary.
Yes, we currently have an acting emperor who's trying to legitimize himself, but it's been very hard for the imperial court.
Also, in general, no matter what despot is involved or what military regime, they all claim it's for the emperor anyways, as a form of giving them some sort of what's the word?
Legitimacy.
Legitimacy.
Jupitami itself is walled, and very few people are allowed passage inside. You will most likely not be able to get into Jupitami unless you were brought there as prisoners, which I would heartily recommend you don't let happen. Because if they do bring you as prisoners, they will take the Philosopher's Stone from you, and I don't want to see that in the Emperor's hands.
I don't think any of us want that into Imperial hands.
No.
So, Ozymandias is oasis connected by sea, or is that just a lake that's nearby?
That's a lake.
Okay. Since the map cuts out, I don't know if Bacchanalia is like on a peninsula or if it's just more continent. So I had to ask.
It's more continent, but there is like a very large beach there. They've got they're connected enough to the coast to be able to thrive off of trade.
I personally have no desire to give up this quest.
Well, that's the spirit, my ducky. Well, good luck to all of you. If there's anything you need from me before you head out, you need only say.
So do you want us to leave? Do you want us to leave all these here with you, or do you want us to lug it back to Oz? Points to all the dead kite wings.
Well, I mean, honestly, if what Ozymandias told me is true, there's really no problem in leaving them around. They're designed so that if they are captured, their runes self-immolate and everything magical about them is destroyed, leaving only the shells.
I see. That is intricate magic work.
Ozymandias is very protective of his wonders. He doesn't want to see them fall into the wrong hands. And there are quite a lot of wrong hands these days.
Indeed.
No kidding.
Do there any of the rest of you wish to stay behind?
Well, I don't have anywhere else to go, and if good needs doing, then I'll go.
I have nothing better to do.
I don't like leaving a job half finished, even if I do not care for it.
I'll have an
Like
all hands
that.
as Ozymandias and see it for myself. But if I can promise no more than that.
Well, pleasant travels to you all. Again, I'm at your service. Anything you need while you're in town, just let me know.
Did you? By the way, since were you told how this is made, Folly?
Philosopher's Stone? No. I'm assuming they cast a spell?
Children. Tons of dead children, it turns out.
Oh, so like a nasty spell then.
It's a cheap trick that shitty wizards use to gain power.
I don't... is that normal for magic?
It is not.
So if I seem kind of... Don't want to
It
say
is
hostile,
understandable, like, it is a disconcerting object to discover.
Well, perhaps that's why my master wanted to find one rather than make one himself.
I am curious, if you don't mind me intruding, poking around, I guess, Mr. Folly.
Mm-hmm.
How exactly did you come to know Ozymandias?
Folly smiles and says, might be hard to believe this about all Folly, but I wasn't exactly on the up and up before the plague hit. Not to mince terms, I was, and am still, I suppose, an outright criminal. Worked with a lot of thieves' guilds, helped connect people, make sure that people of talent were able to get objects of great desirability into other hands. Money was exchanged, etc., etc. Really good at being the middleman, as it were, for various people with designs that were less than legal. And I stand by that life. I did what I needed to do to survive. But the plague hit, and times got tough. I did what I had to make it out. And Ozymandias found me. He needed someone with my skill set, someone who was good at finding talented people, people who didn't necessarily abide by the authority of the powers that be, people who were willing to do what was necessary to get things done, even if it meant pissing off the law. But he gave me a better reason than before to gather such people. And Folly's smiling very warmly. Gave me a cause to believe in. To do some good. I haven't done a lot of good in my life. And I managed to survive the plague. Which in some ways feels rather cruel, given how many people who have done good didn't. So I thought, why not hitch my horse to his wagon, as it were? Do some good for a change. That's what I've been doing. I've got my skill set. Might not be the most up-and-up skill set, but I'm doing everything I can to make sure some good gets done with it. Ozymandias shows me the way.
I think I understand.
When you make it to the Oasis, don't feel rushed to bring the jewel to Ozymandias. Look around. See what he offers people. You'll understand as I do that this man knows a better way for Mediterra, a better way for Midgard. A world where people can prosper. We need that now, more than ever.
That we do.
I think I agree as well.
He smiles warmly, gives you all a very respectful bow. So proud of all of you. I don't know if that means anything, but you did it. Boss is going to be so pleased. And he leaves, and eventually the chef comes out with a shitload of delicious food.
Cassidy instinctively takes a swig of her spirits.
I can't remember the last time somebody told me they were proud of me. Odd.
And if you don't mind me asking, Miss Cassidy, how much of those spirits do you have?
About 5 bottles.
Well, if Ozymandias can somehow produce more, then
I mean, all Cassidy needs to do is just rest at a bonfire and they'll refill.
God damn it.
If only.
14 hops up onto the table and struts around. We did it! We did it!
We did indeed do it.
And I get to go home!
Are you excited to go home?
Yes! Tell the master that I did it! That we did it!
going to feed some food to 14.
14 eats it very happily, putting it into its little furnace and making just a little bit of smoke.
Cole eats the spiciest stuff that's brought out.
It is quite spicy.
Yeah. Well, they don't show their face when they eat. They just like move the mask up enough to put food underneath it.
There's back in the old days of Star Wars expanded universe shit, there was a story about Boba Fett, and at one point, like, Boba Fett orders a drink, and another character's like, "Am I finally going to see his face?" And then, like, a little straw just shoots out of his helmet, and it's just like, that is the funniest fucking thing you could do with Boba Fett. I love it so much.
Incredible.
Personally, I think the funniest fucking thing they could have done would have an hatch at the top of his helmet open and he pours it
Oh
in.
my god!
That he makes eye contact with the person looking. No one will ever believe you.
It'd be even better if the straw that poked out goes into a set of
curly straw.
curls. Yeah, it just a set of curls that like writes out something stupid, like
Bad bitch.
yeah, something like that.
Oh my god!
Foxy
No,
Grandpa.
it says Batman.
Bad man.
Bad
You fucking would.
Tamora Morrison, Boba Fett boy. Foxy Grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
This is good.
Yeah, I haven't eaten this richly in a while.
My memories betray me.
Thor, I just want you to know that the pickled eggs are as good as pickled eggs can get. I have no idea what quality makes pickled eggs good, so you're just gonna have to figure that out for yourself.
Some of them are fantastic.
I'm sure they are.
Like he is specifically has only been eating the eggs. He's been letting everybody else essentially attack the larger platter.
Hole does not eat messily. It is, very slow and
Given how they're
careful to
trying to
hide the
hide
features.
themselves, I'm sure that Hole eats very, very carefully.
Yeah. Part of that is, part of who they were, but part of that is you don't get to see my face. So, Gore,
Hmm?
you seem very suspicious of our benefactor.
Well, I'm
Not
not
the
sure
only
exactly.
one.
Was it?
I said he's not the only one.
Well, I'm not exactly sure what kind of message you got, but mine didn't involve an assassination, so to speak.
Fair
I
point.
suppose that is fair.
Alex is looking down at his plate, kind of just idly poking it with a fork and say, well, this Osmandius fellow does sound a little, it's like, very good. And I want to believe that there are other people in the world who generally want to do good, but I'm also just of the opinion that I don't think anyone should have a stone like that.
Nor do I.
I know, like, there's that line of thought that, well, at least some good coming out of suffering, but is that what history is going to remember if we pass this off? Or are they just going to think that the cost is worth
It
you know?
exists now. The harm has been caused.
I know, but
If we do not put it in a place where it is at least safe, the harm will come from somebody else using it.
yes, I just mean, if what Volley says is true, if Ozymandias does want to create a better world, and in so doing, kind of carve his name into history, then later down the line, will that just encourage other people to make more stones like this?
Not if he keeps what he used for a secret.
Yes.
The world
If I
doesn't
m-
need to know that it was the Philosopher's Stone.
I'm pretty sure secrets like this aren't kept forever.
If I may, perhaps we should offer him a dummy, so to speak. And then, once we understand what he's about to do, we can decide if he deserves the stone or destroy it ourselves.
That's
I'm
not a bad idea.
I am not sure you would be able to trick a wizard that powerful with a fake Philosopher's Stone.
Yeah, and-
Possibly, but he might believe that the fool wizard who made it didn't make one either.
Well,
Huh.
to have Folly send so many people to, well, their deaths, he must have had good reason to believe that Ranzagar made something worth acquiring.
Gore's going to reach out a hand. If I may, might I inspect the stone?
I can hand it.
Okay, Gore's just kind of look it over and essentially trying to like get the magical vibe coming off this rock.
Okay. Do an insight willpower check for me.
I assist.
If you want to make it a group check, we can make it a group check.
Side will check.
I'd be willing.
Everyone who wants to take part in the group check, roll an insight willpower as well. Gore is the leader, which means everyone else is doing a DC of... Well, actually, this is for everyone. Everyone has a DC of 10, a difficulty level of 10 for this check. If you get 10 or above, you pass. If you get below 10, you don't. For those who are assisting, if you pass, you add 1 to Raven's check.
Okay.
Beans. A 2 and a 4 beans.
An 8. Not terrible.
Insight willpower.
Well, Ray's rolled a 10.
Oh, sorry. I didn't see that. Okay, I rolled a 10. That's pretty good.
Pretty good. That's enough. So, Leica and Alex, you study it, and Leica, you've seen enchanted items and you're able to recognize runes, but this is not quite an enchanted item in that way. It's more of a component than a item itself. Gore, while you are a fairy and are not as familiar with the art of wizard, and also Alex, you have no idea what this fucking thing is other than a really pretty rock. Gore, though you are a fairy and are not specifically trained in the ways of wizardry, through your travels and conversations with others, you know enough, and also just your innate connection to magic as a fairy, you know enough to be able to tell. This is an unfathomably powerful thing. This thing has as much magic energy coursing through it as a fully grown dragon.
Ooh.
Oh, fuck.
Like, it's not like all gems have latent magic power that can be brought out with like the right incantations and stuff. There's a reason why earth magic using creatures can just like actively seek out and find gems as part of earth magic. Gems are innately magical things. They are the jewels of the earth, the creation of the planet. And magic flows through their facets very easily. This Philosopher's Stone doesn't just have latent magic, it pulses with active living magic. And with so much power at its disposal, in the hands of a wizard who knows how to channel that power, this stone could do truly marvelous, wondrous, great, and terrible things. Not necessarily evil, but acts of magic so stupendous and enormous in scope that they could be literally world-changing if used correctly. It is also the kind of thing where if you don't know what you're doing, you could destroy yourself. You could destroy everyone around you. You could destroy a 10-mile radius on accident.
Hmm.
It is a supremely and terrifyingly powerful magical tool.
Right. You
Yeah,
know,
I see it. Claire.
from the first time you met, his smile actually drops. His ears flick up and kind of flare out, almost like, a fucking frilled lizard sensing a threat. The tentacles begin writhing and like
Ooh.
positioning a little bit, almost like they're about to strike. And he's just like looking directly into the stone, completely not paying attention. He blinks a minute, he puts it on the table, and then pushes it aside. It's like, there is so much here. So much. He just
Are you
seems a little
okay?
stunned.
Are you okay?
It is a living source, almost, of magic, hard to define, hard to scope. If some fool messed with this, miles would be erased.
And we're just gonna go and willingly walk this into the hands of someone we don't even know whose true intention is.
If someone was actually on the level, and this stone could work miracles.
Or
Considering
until destruction.
It could.
This stone could fix so much harm done by the Red Death.
yeah,
And it could unleash a
Oh, I
harm, maybe not on
understand.
par, but close.
yeah.
I understand why that is intimidating.
Wow.
There is no way we
In
could reasonably.
history, are there stories of wizards getting Philosopher's Stones and doing stuff with it?
I'm going to give this to you because you went to a school for wizardry, or at least half of you did.
Yeah.
The Philosopher's Stone is considered one of the most wondrous inventions of wizardry and one of the most impossible to replicate. There are countless stories of wizards who have tried and failed to make a working Philosopher's Stone. Countless stories of wizards who think they made one that works, but through some imperfection of the creation, it was unstable or imperfect and incapable of truly doing all the wonders the Philosopher's Stone requires, or the Philosopher's Stone can perform. Tons of tales where a wizard makes what they think is a Philosopher's Stone only for the energy to peter out, or for it to go unstable and explode and destroy them, or countless ways it can go wrong. To create a Philosopher's Stone is the dream of many a wizard, and the actual successful achievement of probably only a handful, like literally less than 10. There probably have been less than 10 successful true Philosopher's Stones in existence. And because successes are so rare, understanding what separates a true perfect Philosopher's Stone and an imperfect doomed Philosopher's Stone is incredibly difficult. It takes years of dedicated study of the subject itself to even begin to understand what marks the difference. Like, it's like painting a masterpiece picture, it's like making a fucking Da Vinci painting. It is a work of this art that is so profound in its complexity and skill and craft and talent that it's almost impossible to do it again. And yet, for millennia, people have tried to make the perfect Philosopher's Stone again.
Cole picks up the stone, like holds it up. for like everyone to see. I believe I must also stress another point. Gore, you feel how much power resides within this stone.
Yes.
The rest of you have heard tales of the Philosopher's Stone, I'm sure.
Maybe once.
One of your
TT,
aunties has probably mentioned it at least once or twice.
We do
TT.
not even know for sure.
Hello?
Yes, Leica?
Question. What
Mm-hmm.
would I need to roll to see if 14 has, like, say, a sending stone that's transmitting everything we're saying elsewhere?
You'd have to roll and ask 14 that question.
And ask what?
And ask 14 that question.
Oh. 14, if you don't mind me asking, what all magical equipment do you have equipped on you?
Well, mostly drives relating to my subsistence, as well as my self-destruction in the event that I am captured or injured and rendered beyond incapable of doing my duties. There are tracking runes so that my master can know where I have fallen and what has become of me. And I can fly.
Is there any runes that is transmitting information from you to elsewhere, like, say, audio?
Like a crystal ball? No. I do not have a crystal ball or crystal ball capabilities.
But you
But
cannot communicate with your creator.
if we were able to get a crystal ball, I would know frequencies in which we can communicate with Ozymandias as well as Folly and other people in the organization if you would so should desire.
Question 14.
Yes.
I've never used one myself, but what are the exact limits of a crystal ball when it comes to communicating with people?
Well, both people have to be in the presence of a crystal ball at time for the call to go through. If the other person is not near their crystal ball, they can't answer it. That's basically it.
Well, Thank you, 14.
You're welcome. Yes?
May you rest a moment.
Oh, you wish for privacy? Of course! And then 14 curls up into its little sphere shape.
I understand why you're frightened of giving this stone to a man you've never met. I recognize the danger in that. But for all we know, this stone is a dud, or will kill the man itself.
Well, I might happen to know someone who could help us determine that.
That is... I do not mean offense, but that is unlikely.
Well, she's a woman of many talents, very old, very wise. And I trust her.
Well, that is a word of confidence. I do not know what was offered to the rest of you, but I have a vested interest in what this wizard can do. I am in need of something that Ozymandias might be able to do. I wish to make that clear. My intent is to deliver this stone. But this is not my journey alone. I would have not have gotten this stone without the rest of you, and I will not make this trip without the rest of you.
I am going
I
to...
don't know how many of you remember just how bad it got back during the plague days, but
I do.
if there is any chance that we can salvage anything from it, I want to take that chance.
I agree.
That means trusting someone, hoping they don't devastate the world, then I guess that's what it takes.
I suppose
Vodka,
my
agree. Nice.
no, go on. I'm thinking to
So-
myself.
So, above game, unrelated. If we wanted to change one of our bonds,
What we are in right now is technically an interlude session,
Uh-huh.
or interlude scene. So if you wanted to, you could justify adding to or changing a bond right now.
because Leica is
So
suddenly very sus of Hole, does not
So-
trust Hole at all.
okay. So just so you know, for interlude scenes, adding to a bond or creating a bond, you can do one of those two. Changing a bond, I let you do for free. You can
Okay.
change as many bonds as you like during an interlude scene, because ultimately, like, that's a lateral move. If you change a bond from trust to mistrust, it still ultimately is like 1 point in that bond. It doesn't change the strength of that
Right.
bond. Whereas creating a new bond or adding an element to an existing bond is adding a point, and so that's not a lateral move. That's a statistical improvement. So you can change whatever bonds you want for free. That's fine. Adding to or creating a bond, you only get to do that once, and you have to pick either or per interlude session. So yes, if you want to change your bonds or add to a bond right now, you may.
Because Leica feels that Hole is not being entirely forthcoming.
Which is absolutely true.
Not being entirely forthcoming, as well as them being almost single-mindedly focused on bringing the doomsday magic weapon to
Hey.
to a person who basically
It's not
Well, that's-
necessarily a doomsday.
Yeah,
you guys are
the
focusing
doomsday
really
weapon
hard
is-
on how a philosopher's stone can be a magical nuke. It can also be a wondrous
See?
thing.
we're in the wake of the Red Death. I think all of us have really good reason to be cynical and pessimistic about.
You do, but also you have really good reason to want a big positive change, and this could fuel a big
Mhm.
positive change very
Yeah.
easily.
This is very much a heaven or hell thing here.
Yeah.
This could be awful, but it could also be hugely beneficial.
Yeah, that's the catch, isn't it? It's good to hope. It's good to have things to look forward to, and lately I and I think a lot of other people haven't had a whole lot to look forward to. This could change things for the better, but I mean, just look what happened the last time someone in power went. I mean, how the emperor responded to the plague.
Most
Uh,
most of the
Hole-
countries in this world responded to it.
Hole
Harry,
will look into the stone just for a minute more, but then offer it back to Leica.
hey TT,
Yeah.
if I would to my arcanism is tied specifically to warping and changing the location of people, but could that be tied to an object? Like, hypothetically speaking, could I enchant the stone to teleport back to my hand?
If
Just
it
click-
were a more mundane sort of magical item, I would say
So-
yeah, pretty easily.
So
Because
its
this
magic
is-
is so intense that it basically override things.
Its magic is so intense that trying to put a spell on it is
Water off a duck's
indistinguishable from trying to cast a spell with it. And
Uh-oh.
like trying to cast a spell with it, you've got to know really well what you're doing, or there's going to be some big unintended consequences.
So basically,
time,
it would result in like, oh, I cast a teleport spell on this, and it instead teleports the entire town of Mercurio halfway across the world.
Or
At
to the
best.
fucking moon.
Yeah.
Or, oh
Like-
no.
Like, this is incredibly reactive magic. And
So in-
it's potent and living in a way that, like, if you were trying to, like, if you had a really big magic-worthy diamond, you could enchant that to come back to your hand, sure, because diamond magic, the magic of a diamond is latent. It's something that has to be consciously brought out. But a Philosopher's Stone, by its very nature, is active.
It's ready
It-
to go whenever.
It may be choosing not to do anything, but if you give it the slightest bit of stimulus, it's going to react, and that's why it has to be used by someone who knows how to use a Philosopher's Stone.
So any spells with the intent to affect the stone or even affect something around it could just be fed into by the stone.
Yeah. It's like, you have to, like, this is a very powerful thing that you guys have to protect and keep safe until it's in the hands of someone who knows how to use/dispose of it. Destroying it also is going to be difficult.
Yeah.
So
You
we
can't
can
just, like-
take it to a volcano and throw it in.
Yeah, you throw it in a volcano and it might make a giant fucking magma monster that begins rampaging everywhere.
It's like, well,
Or
fuck.
it might make, like, the entire fault line that volcano rests upon tear apart, and suddenly we have a new continent and also many, many more dead people in an already half-dead world.
Yeah, we are holding the fucking nuclear
it's not-
football.
It's not even a nuke. It's like a nuclear power plant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Potential is unlimited. It is the intent that matters.
It is a handheld nuclear power plant. Like, however this is disposed of and manipulated, it has to be done delicately.
So basically, we have the Infinity Stones, but without the power glove.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Did
Yeah,
you get
oh
that?
God,
Did you
yeah.
get that, DZ? Did you get what I did there?
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll extend the stone to like
it like the Wicked Witch of the West.
Like,
Oh, no.
like it will
Keep
take
this.
it.
keep this hidden as best as you can, like
Well, I don't mean this to be
In
rude,
terms of
but
keeping things hidden, well, I learned from the best, as Leica hides it.
okay.
In terms of where this would go,
Okay.
there's not too many places it would be safe, much less easy to be destroyed.
Well, I'm going to trust you on this, Leica. You seem to know what you're doing. But if it is really magically reactive, you think it would be best placed with someone who isn't magic? Someone who can't even set it off, even accidentally?
that is a fair point. Which means I would not be well suited to
Would
carrying
14?
it.
Would 14 have?
Well,
14
14 is
inherently
magic.
magical.
Oh, I thought I
Also-
thought you would think that 14 would they would have a built-in compartment to store it for easier travel.
Maybe
Yes.
it does. You guys told it to shut down, so it can't voice on that thing.
Oh, yeah,
14,
we could ask for
14
like that, but-
reactivate.
Yes?
Do you have a magic-proof compartment for the object?
Yes, I do. It's in my tummy.
I could
Not
just carry it in the extra dimensional space.
I don't
Would the plasma in the
I
stone
really-
have a bad reaction, TG?
Yeah, would it? That's a good question.
Pulling a Philosopher's Stone directly into your soul, I feel like that's not going to end well.
Yeah, I
But
think you might become the final boss in that moment.
Yeah, I was
Cassidy.
thinking, like, yeah, let's yeet the Philosopher's Stone into the robot's furnace. Let's see what happens.
Well, we're talking
Ultra
about
Cassidy.
Cassidy's.
But
Oh.
I do not think putting the nearly a limitlessly powerful stone inside of your soul is a good idea.
Well, if it's any consolation, I don't know any spells.
I have a
don't.
compartment specifically made for holding the stone securely. However, if you do give the stone to me, I will have to change priority to self-preservation to my number one priority.
Hmm. Which means delivering the stone to Ozymandias.
That is correct. If the stone is stored in me, I cannot be captured or destroyed by any means. If I am, the mission is a complete failure, and that is unacceptable.
I suppose
Hmm.
that could be a last resort. If we are in danger, you could get the stone away.
Hopefully, it won't
I
need to
could
come to that.
try. I am not, however, very hardy, and there are many things that can fly that could pose a significant problem.
Hmm.
This is
Yeah.
true.
Dragons.
Oh, a
I'm
dragon with
pretty
the
sure an
stone, I can't
actual
imagine.
eagle could take him down.
Believe it. Many things could take down 14.
An actual dragon would probably not bother.
Yeah,
Well,
I think a bad expansion could take down 14. Bloomst. That's a Final Fantasy joke.
Yeah,
I
no,
get it.
A Fabio Ultimo joke, if you will.
Hi, Ari.
Alex, you know no spells.
No. Well, I should put this out there first. Look, that person I tried to mention earlier, whom I trust,
Yes.
she knows spells, and I've spent time with her, but I never learned any actual magic.
Are you,
I can't do what you do.
What's it called when someone is born magic? It's like a Greek hero kind of thing. They're
So if they're unconsciously attuned to magic, like
Yeah.
most arcane creatures, they are called a paragon.
are you not? Are you a paragon, perhaps?
I don't know.
is there a way to test that?
Not accurately, because paragons often begin exhibiting symptoms with a stimulus. So any person could theoretically be a paragon. They just need the right stimulus for it to snap, and suddenly magic begins to unconsciously flow through them.
Gotcha.
Just as technically anyone, though wizards will say this is not true, technically anyone can become a sorcerer. They just need the right stimulus to make things snap in their mind and attune to magic consciously.
I suppose then of us, you are the least magically inclined. There may be some magic in you, but we do not know of it yet.
I certainly don't know.
Gore is a fairy, therefore perhaps the most magically attuned of all of us.
Well, also Cassidy being a ghost.
Or the can be on.
Cassidy is
Well, Alex, you would know from Auntie Miranda that ghosts are not magic; they are a cult. And while you don't fully understand the difference, when
Cassidy
Miranda
is-
tried to explain it, you understand that those are two different things.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Cassidy is not magical, but is also at the same time probably unable to carry the stone safely inside of herself.
She is attuned to some variation of magic.
No, it's not magic, Gore. It is
No.
something.
Oh,
She is
right.
She's not understanding. I mean, she's attuned, not inherently magical herself.
Oh, apologies.
Supernatural, if you will.
Yes.
Clearly
is that a cult?
supernatural.
Is the cult like the official term?
As far as wizards are concerned, yes. There is the occult, and there is magic or the arcane, which are different, sometimes overlapping sources of supernatural power.
Okay.
Cassidy is occult, which is sometimes overlaps with the arcane, but it is not in and of itself arcane.
My auntie tried to explain the difference to me, but I mean, it's all supernatural at the end of the day. Average person doesn't deal with ghosts or philosopher's stones.
But
Yeah,
it
is
is still
this
kind of
auntie the person you're talking about who would be able to tell us more?
Yes,
Yes,
but
it is this auntie.
Where would she be located?
well, that's the thing. Why I asked 14 about the crystal ball is, I haven't seen her in a while. I'm kind of worried that maybe she didn't live past the plague, but I mean, she's smart.
I'm afraid.
If anyone
very
could have
sorry.
survived, she would.
But if for some reason we all agree to go to the Oasis, I would suggest we go through Mercurio through the Dreamwoods to Vestia, and then cut to Minervans, and then decide where to go from there. Avoid Jupiter altogether.
That I agree with.
Yeah. I
do.
trust Folly in that regard. I'd want to avoid any Imperial entanglements.
I have
It
no
is in-
desire to deal with them.
It is in his best interest that the stone make it to his master.
And Gore.
And while the Dreamwoods has some, while the Dreamwoods had some fairy nonsense, we have a native of the fairy realms with us, as well as a.
I could try speaking with them, though it is Fae. They go a bit different every other day.
And
Indeed.
speaking from personal experience, I'd sooner trust a Fae than Imperials.
You can at least trust the Imperials to backstab you more often.
I suppose as that.
Faye might backstab you, but well, they're just as likely to eat all your food.
Yeah.
They look over at Gore.
He then pointedly looks down to his plate, and he's only eaten the pickled
Yeah, it was a joke.
eggs, and
They
then
were attempting a joke.
yeah, I know, and he's countering your joke. He just smiles.
Yeah.
Aha, you have everything else. Oh, he didn't say that.
Oh.
I trust the fairy. I trust Faye not to backstab me a great deal more than I trust Imperials not to.
Yeah,
Of course,
at least with Fae, there's
course.
like a coin flip.
Of course, I trust a Kelpie not to try and drown and eat me more than I trust an Imperial not to backstab me.
If you don't mind me, I just realized, could you ride a Kelpie now without any fear of danger?
There's a pause, and then Cassidy's empty eye sockets just light up.
Oh my gosh.
Gord chuckles like, technically you could if you were very polite and offer them a deal.
I Kelpie tried to drown my mother once. She scared. She scared it so bad it bucked her off.
Your mother sounds like a very scary woman.
Whole chuckles.
See, I don't believe her, but
What is your mother's name?
like his shifty eyes.
Mm.
I don't know you well enough to share my mother's name.
Very well.
Well, since you expressed interest, like that's why I was asking 14 about the crystal ball thing. Maybe she's maybe Auntie's at home, and I could bring her up. I don't know where to get a crystal ball, but it's worth a shot.
Does she have a crystal ball?
Yes, I've seen it.
TT.
Yeah.
Would it be safe to assume that Teutonia would probably have crystal balls?
Junitonia would probably have crystal balls, yes.
I believe the closest place we could acquire one, if not from Folly, we could always ask. But if not there, Junitonia is the closest place where we would be able to acquire a crystal ball.
Good, we
And
are quite
that is-
flush with cash.
That is also closer to Jepitome,
Well,
where we do not want to go.
yeah, that's true. I
Now,
wish I just knew where Auntie lived. She always visited us. We never visited her, but
then how do you know she had a crystal ball? Did she bring it with her?
yeah, she wanted to show it off to me one time.
Uh,
Contact a distant family.
if we go through the Dreamwoods and then Vestia, we may not be able to find a crystal ball there, but we might be able to find one in Minervans or Bacchanalia. Both still before we get to Ozymandias, but they are later. And it would give us more time to think.
Sounds like a decent
Sounds-
plan, I think.
Yeah, it's the
do
best
not-
we've got, really.
I do not-
Personally,
Mm.
I am quite. I can't say I'm alright with Ozymandias, but it is the best option we have.
He is the one most likely to be able to put it to good use,
For better or worse.
for better or worse.
And if I know the inside of his palace, I can possibly get back in.
Yes, you did move us quite a distance without much effort.
It's quite useful for scoping out ends.
It is
As
that is
for-
extremely useful.
Something
Well,
you wanted to say, Laka?
Well, I'm not familiar with most of the cities around here. If for some reason we do end up in Epitome, I am aware of the
That is goal.
underbelly.
That is the last place we want to be. We must
If we
avoid.
need to, if
at
we need
all
to
costs.
sneak through the sewers, we could.
And, well,
That is,
we know Folly. Folly told us he has contacts. Maybe he would know trustworthy persons.
that is where he warned us of where the Empire is.
Well, just if it comes to that, I mean,
If it comes to it, yes, but I would rather put stock in avoiding it entirely.
yeah, but it just seems like something we should probably ask of him before we leave, since he's staying here.
That's a good idea. And perhaps we can ask if he has a philosophy,
Crystal ball.
Thank you.
Crystal
Good
ball.
lord. Perhaps we can
Folly
ask
the
him if
Wait.
he can acquire us a
Y-
crystal ball.
Yeah, maybe Folly would happen to have one because
Ollie takes out a
How-
gauntlet with four philosopher's stones.
because if he is working for this Ozymandias, I imagine he has some way to keep contact with him if he's trusted to be so far away.
He probably already has contacted the man.
That's true.
Perhaps we should go ask him about the crystal ball now and give him time to find one if he can.
Well, he said he owes us.
Then, I shall go find him. Anyone else wish to come?
Yes.
Cassidy, she holds up the plank. Do you wish to come or stay?
I suppose I'll come.
Should I stay or should I go?
Do you feel this?
Feel what?
She taps the board.
Not really.
Huh.
I mean, you would sense it in a very strange way. Like when someone touches the thing you are haunting, you feel a physical connection with their soul.
Oh God!
Which allows you to affect them to a degree that you can't when they're not touching it. You know, if you leave a haunted house, the ghost can't follow you.
Yeah.
So when a person's touching it, that's when a ghost can start getting, depending on the power of the ghost, they can start giving that person sensations, hallucinations, all sorts of shit. If a ghost is strong enough, they can even possess a person when they are physically in the space that the ghost is haunting.
Would my gloves at all block that?
Nope. It's not magic.
Oh.
It's your soul.
So would she get a feeling for my soul since I'm holding this?
Yes, but at the same time, it would not be clear. Ghost's understanding of the spirit is very self-focused. Because spiritually speaking, ghosts have a lot going on, and while they can sense other souls, you know, that's how they navigate things. Their ability to truly understand other souls in complexity the way they understand themselves is limited by the fact that they are so bound by their unfinished business and their need to accomplish things in this mortal plane before they can let go and go to the afterlife where they belong.
So a ghost, like if a ghost, you know, quote unquote, brushes against you, they're not gonna like they're not privy to your deepest, darkest secrets. They just know you're there.
Yeah, and they know you're there in the way that like a spider knows something is where something is when it touches a spider's web.
So would she get a weird feeling of two souls?
Yeah, it'd probably be weird. It like, but also I feel like it would read as like, well, there's something weird going on with your soul. It's bigger than it should be and too flavored. But I don't know if like a ghost senses would be sharp enough to realize that that's two separate souls.
Okay.
So as
Like the-
far as Cassidy could tell, you're just really tasty.
You're
Yeah, I don't
sweet and
think
sour
Cole-
sauce.
Yeah, I don't think Hull thought of that and has not, or else they wouldn't be carrying this.
Well, and Hole
But-
probably, unless Hole took an occult studies class, Hole probably doesn't know that much about the occult.
No.
Because it's a distinct field from the arcane.
Yeah.
And a lot of wizards, they understand it in as far as it affects arcane stuff. Like if you're making homunculi or chimeras, you have to have some understanding of the occult. Because you're dealing with souls when you're creating new life.
Yeah.
But you're probably not going to understand all the minutia of ghosts unless that specifically interested you enough to study it.
No, that was not their field of expertise.
Yeah.
So would Cambion like have a bit more of an understanding of that, given that's just genetics for them?
Yeah, since Cambions are themselves occult creatures, you would have like at the very least a primal understanding of souls that's a bit more advanced than other creatures. Like if you honed your latent demonic powers enough to be able to see souls, which you probably haven't, you would be able to tell that there are two inside of Whole. But like just because it's a latent power of yours doesn't mean it's something you can do untrained. Like it's a latent power of mine that I could, run 4 miles per hour and achieve marathons. But I have not trained to do so. So I can't.
Yeah. All right. So yeah,
Can you feel this, Cassidy?
Yes and no.
Interesting.
I'm registering that you're touching it, but I wouldn't call it feeling.
All right. Well, Leica, Gore, are you staying here?
Sorry, what?
Leica, Gore, are you staying here?
Looks down at the food platters like, are you all done?
I might come back for more later, but I am full enough right now.
If I'm hungry later, I'll just pay for it.
It occurs to me, if Cassidy senses a dual nature, maybe she'll just assume they're gender fluid.
yeah. Really, they are fine. Right, they would be fine going by either set of any set of roads right now because they don't really know what they are right now.
You've been clocked by a ghost.
They're off to find Folly.
I'll have to find the wizard.
I will ask the bartender. GT.
Oh, you're gonna go find the bartender?
Yeah, ask the bartender if he knows where Folly is.
All right, you go out to the front where the bartender is, and you see Folly at a table with a woman who appears to be roughly his age, a little overweight, and they are laughing together and somewhat close.
Oh.
I'll just wait, like give him a polite wave, but the way that kind of indicates we would like your attention once you're done.
Can I get a read on that situation there? Does that look like
Yeah, do a double insight.
sibling or what?
Leica wants to list.
Do a double insight.
Double insight? Already?
Yeah.
Oh god. I'm still getting used to these. Okay. Insight.
Okay, Hole. As you listen in,
God damn.
given the body language, the snippets of conversation, which mostly is like lewd jokes and anecdotes, and the way the two are looking at each other, this is flirtation.
Oh. Okay.
Folly is making this woman laugh, and apparently has more riz than you expected.
As they're like going up, Hole's just like examines. I was like,
Oh. Okay.
When Folly sees Alex in particular sort of motioning to like, hey, when you're done, come over here, you hear him say, 1 minute, my love. Some of my duckies are asking for my help. And he excuses himself from the table and comes over to you guys with a great big smile on his face. What can I do for you?
Thank you.
Alex, yes.
If you don't mind me asking, do you happen to have and to keep in touch with your employer, do you have a crystal ball or know the closest place to get one?
I do indeed have a crystal ball. I have one crystal ball, which I do need to keep on my person.
Yeah.
Are you
of
needing to get in contact with some people?
It occurred to us that it'd probably be good to keep in touch, have a means of keeping in touch if we're tracking across the country.
Strokes his beard. That is true. I don't know of any in Mercurio. Which path are you taking? To Junitonia or Vestia?
We're leading Vestia.
All right. If you're going to Vestia, I can make some calls and I can. I'll get someone to get you a crystal ball in Vestia.
Thank you.
Fairly certain that should be possible.
We thought that Jutonia would probably have one, but that risks getting close to,
Griff's just getting close to Jupiter to me.
Let's see. This is not as good as a crystal ball, and he hands you a piece of parchment. I will
Paper?
keep you updated on when my agent will arrive and what they'll look like and what their name is, so you can find them when you reach Vestia. I think I can get them there by the time you arrive, but just in case I can't, I can tell you how long you'll need to wait.
Is this a what is this? How?
All
What
right,
is
so
this?
he unscrolls it for you, and then he grabs out a second piece and he writes in it, and you see the words appear in it and say, "Hey, it's me, Folly. How you doing, Ducky?"
Oh, your handwriting's very lovely.
Oh, thank you. I've always thought it's chicken scratch. But I do try to make it legible. I have to write a lot of notes. It does work both ways. It's not quite as useful as a crystal ball.
Your flirting seems quite effective as well.
He's a little bit bashful about that.
I think everyone deserves love, Folly.
What a nice sentiment, Ducky.
Thank you for the paper, though. So
Not a problem. I have plenty of those. Crystal balls are just a bit harder to come by.
So is this paper, like, this particular paper, is it magic and that's how you're doing it? Or
The paper
are
is
they
magic.
all magic?
The paper is magic. This specific paper. And all you have to do is tap it, and he taps what he wrote with his pen, and the ink disappears. And it's free to be written on some more.
So tap for the ink to disappear the ink. Write some more. Okay.
Probably best to wait until you get a response, though. And always respond to a message once you've seen it. That way the other person knows that their message has been seen. This is why it's not as good as a crystal ball. It doesn't immediately attract attention by flashing or making a noise. So it's very hard to know whether or not the person has gotten the message.
Thank you, though.
Thank you.
This will help a lot.
It's best I can. I'm sorry I didn't think about getting an extra crystal ball. They are a bit pricey. Which is not to say that I wouldn't be able to spare the expense. I just didn't think of it. That's my bad.
That's okay, Foley. You know, as you expressed earlier, you weren't sure if we were going to succeed anyway.
Real good feeling, though.
We are only human after all.
Yeah.
I would refrain from that sort of terminology, since one of you technically isn't. Depending on some definitions, two of you aren't. Depending on some definitions, three of you aren't.
I meant... Fair enough.
Yeah. Don't worry, though. I've always found the particular choice of wording to be a little centrist. You know, wish there was a easier way.
What terminology? My Discord cut out.
We are only human.
We're only human.
Like, it's always somewhat bothered me that, you know, the term humanity to refer to people, you know, who look out for each other. You know, not every human being is humane, as it were, and there are quote unquote monsters out there that are.
Quite true, Ducky. Quite true.
There are beings fall in every place in the spectrum.
Well, you know, languages are flawed because they're made by flawed people. But they can always be made better as people become better.
That's
What is that?
poetic.
Indeed.
You know, since you clearly have a talent for writing, maybe you should write some of this down.
Yeah, people want the philosophy of Folly the Fence.
Well,
You could be the Follyosopher.
I like you, Ducky.
If you are perhaps not so sure of your own name, you could make another even.
Yeah, plenty of great writers have gone under pseudonyms.
And plenty of terrible ones have too.
Perhaps more by necessity. I'm not a writer and I'm not a philosopher. I'm just a fence.
Well,
But
like you said, we could always be more than what we used to be.
Indeed.
And hey, maybe you can be a writer and a fence.
That's quite sweet, Duckies. That's quite sweet. So is there anything else you need?
Was there another thing? I can't remember now.
I don't think so. I think you were just talking about the crystal
I
ball.
think- Yeah, I think we're good.
Oh, I just remembered. We're going to avoid Jupitamy if we can help it, but as I said, you used to be a fence. In case we are driven there by circumstance, could you provide us a list of trustworthy contacts?
Trustworthy contacts in Jupitamy. You mean Junotonia? You're not getting into Jupitamy, at least I hope not.
Oh yeah, right. Sorry.
I know a couple of good people in Junotonia, people who I would trust. I don't know if there are many I would trust with knowledge that you have a Philosopher's Stone, but I know some people that you could trust to keep you safe.
You can trust nobody with that information.
Yeah, we're not going to be flinging that knowledge around.
Smart. Tell you what. Write to me when you're on the crossroads and you know which way you're going. Either way, I'll make sure some people that you can trust well enough will be there to meet you and help you out.
That's good enough for me. Thank you, Folly, for everything.
No problem at all, and thank you for undertaking this. I know I've been asking a lot. And it warms the cockles of my heart that you've managed to come this far alone.
Well, I think we're all going to be leaving together and not alone.
Such a sweet sentiment. Well, if you excuse me, I have to go attend to my friend.
Of course, of course. Good luck with it.
And he smiles, and he goes back to flirting shamelessly with this woman.
I genuinely wish him well.
Good for him.
It's even if it doesn't pan out, it's good to have tried to love, than not at all.
Oh.
I can't say that I have. It's not
Well.
been a good time for it.
Yeah. I mean, you know, love can take more forms than just flirting.
Of course, I am excluding familial love for obvious reasons.
Yeah, that's part of the reason why I want to acquire a crystal ball, because it's more beyond the fact that my auntie could know how to advise us on this situation. I'm worried about her. She's good to me. Has been good to
I'm
me.
curious about your aunt.
She's she generally keeps to herself, but she's been good to me, like I said.
Well, that is all we might have to do for the day. Shall we
Yeah.
get some rest before we head out?
Yeah, let's get back to the others and catch them up. Then, yeah.
Yes. Yeah, let Leica and Gore know what we have. You know, we can get a crystal ball, hopefully in Vestia. Show them the paper. Tell them that
Okay.
Folly is very good at flirting.
And And writing, as it turns out.
And writing, yeah.
Or at least I think so.
And
It's always the ones
Yeah.
you least expect.
I mean, I could have told you that. I mean, if my father could get some, he clearly could too.
Hey, well,
am
you know, muses are not found solely in high society. If anything, they tend to get out of touch.
Indeed. I'm going to go get some sleep. I recommend the rest of you do the same. We have a long journey ahead of us.
Yeah, and I think we've earned it. I mean, we've taken down a wizard.
A shitty wizard.
He still get a lot of people, though.
He did, but he only did it because they weren't wizards.
Well, I'm not a wizard.
Before we go, or given how much magical power this is giving off, how likely is it that someone's already tracking us?
oh God. God? Would I
We've just
have
been
any idea
sitting
of knowing
here.
that?
Uncertain. Ranzikar definitely isn't because he's fucking dead.
Yeah.
The
Like
nobody else.
I
should
don't know
really
how
know,
to answer that question. Like if it was pre-plague days and you're in Mediterra, probably there would be like some people who would know that you have that and are tracking it. But the thing is, half the world's population is fucking dead. Most people have too much shit going on to be like concerned about what kind of stuff like 5 fucking weirdos got into when they were offing some asshole wizard everyone hates.
Well,
And
Micah, it is-
everyone in this bar, for the most part, seems to be just like mundane humans. They probably cannot sense magic. Now, if you encounter some arcane creatures, they're probably going to be able to sniff out that there's something strongly arcane about you. But most arcane creatures, most magic creatures, do not understand wizardry because they are unconsciously attuned to magic, so they would just think that you're very magical creatures for some reason.
well, Micah,
And when there's
it
a
is
literal
extremely
goblin,
unlikely that anything will pick up on this stone specifically. There's, well, to put it frankly, very few alive who would be paying much attention to us. Perhaps
Yeah.
an arcane creature, as Gore was able to sense the stone, but most creatures who are attuned like Gore would not recognize it as a magical artifact.
all the same, magic or not, we'll have to protect it.
I
Indeed, but-
find that I did not sense its full magnitude until I touched it.
Indeed. It is unlikely to be tracked. If we were to meet somebody who was knowledgeable, then we would need to be careful. But even if we were to meet another attuned creature, they would likely just assume our party to be magically gifted. Which is not necessarily untrue.
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be our excuse, as it were.
Indeed. We have a fairy, a wizard, and a ghost, and a Cambion. We are
And
quite the odd group already.
yeah, but that's the stuff, legends and tales are made of.
This will not become a legend, Alex.
I mean, we're handling something that's only been replicated a few times in
Yeah.
history. Like it or
We are
not,
merely the messengers.
that is true. It just, like it or not, this is a big deal.
They look at you. Just look at you for a second. And they turn and
I'm tired. I must sleep.
Oh, okay.
Oh, God,
So-
my face is tired actually would apply the hole really well.
then they will walk off to their room.
I hope I didn't say something wrong.
Cassidy,
Hmm?
do you sleep?
No.
Is this
Speaking
the way
of-
you
I haven't heard that narrative voice familiar thing in a while.
Well, we've been busy doing like plot stuff and character stuff. That running gag will not end. I just gotta, I'm just gonna do it at appropriate moments.
Yeah.
Like returning to your room and just that awful little goblin is perched there on the shelf.
Is there
No relation.
Cassidy? Is
Sorry,
there a
I
way
didn't
you
mean
can
to.
give me some privacy?
Forgive me, that was a slip of the tongue. I hope it did hurt your feelings too.
It's out of character. It's fine.
Shalerdis fell. Like it comes
Yeah.
back to the room and instead of the usual, it's Shalerdis fell. Oh no.
Hey, Dum Dum. Oh,
Also, I fucking love that you decided to make him the fucking
great kazoo.
great kazoo.
We all know the Great Kazoo was an evil little bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, Hold asked Cassidy if there's any way that Cassidy could give them some privacy. Because, they're carrying around Cassidy's board.
She retreats into the board.
They will sit the board carefully on a chair or something. Watch it for a second to make sure Cassidy does not come back out. Before removing their mask and the majority of their clothing, because heavy clothing, before getting into bed.
Yeah, we are in a a Mediterranean climate.
Yeah, but
Like,
concealing clothing is important when you're a plague doctor.
Yeah, but when you're sleeping,
Yeah, but they had to make sure that they could do that safely. They didn't want to just
Yeah.
ditch
of course.
Cassidy's board with somebody else because that would feel rude. But also, like,
Yeah.
I don't want to. They didn't want to show Cassidy anything.
meanwhile, part like is like, on the one hand, the promise of like adventure and like making a name for herself is like, it baited the wanting to prove themselves young adult child in them, but on the face of the Philosopher's Stone, things have changed.
Yeah, it's a very powerful MacGuffin. Who's taking 14 for the night?
I'll take
Oh.
him. I don't mind company.
Like has the Philosopher's Stone.
I guess that leaves only Gore without a MacGuffin.
He is his own MacGuffin.
Not gonna lie, earlier when we were discussing it, it's like, oh no, Gore accidentally uses the magic of the stone, and because the spell was teleport to me, he just becomes an all-consuming black hole.
Oh my god!
He becomes Guzzlord.
Yeah, he becomes Guzzlord.
I feel like if you put a teleport spell on a Philosopher's Stone, you've essentially made that scene in Portal 2 where they accidentally make the portal to the fucking moon.
Well, in case we need, I guess we have a secret weapon against the final boss, because that was the only way they beat Wheatley.
Space! Space? Space? Space!
Yeah, I guess if nothing happens during the night, morning time?
Morning time, you guys set out for the Dreamwoods. Folly, greets you when you wake up, wishes you well. And you guys head out. Oh, anyone forging any bonds or changing any bonds or adding to any bonds? Figure that out now and get it done in your character sheet because we're moving forward.
I don't
Okay.
think
Okay.
I don't think the needles really changed a whole lot, at least in Gore's mind.
Yeah, as I said earlier, that
Distrusting Hole, which is totally fair.
as for she already has loyalty and affection for Alex and Gore. If anything, the change it might be a slight mistrust of 14, but that's less a mistrust of him and more his master.
right.
Let's see.
If you
Just so
choose
that-
not to add or change anything now, that's fine. Just know I gave you the opportunity, and if you want to use bonds later, not as strong as they could be, or you don't have as many as you want.
So I'm just gonna reforge one with a backstory bond,
Mm-hmm.
with my catalyst being that the inferiority is not quite lessened, but rather now that she's thrust into and having this thing made of dead fucking children magic nuke basically cause thoughts to go to a little bit more what she left behind, if that makes sense.
That's fair.
So I'm gonna put loyalty.
Yeah, I sense within Laka the Leica, or is it Laka?
Laika.
Laika.
Like the dog.
Laika. Yeah, I
Laika.
get the feeling that there is there's a conflict between I desperately want to prove myself, and now there is also I'm way over my head.
Yeah, there's real stakes now.
That's also the fact that there's a gremlin and inherent distrust of authority that's also been she was raised with.
Speaking of which, the bond I have formed is mistrust with Ozymandias. He desperately wants to believe in Ozymandias, but
we can make more than the bonds. These 6 bonds, right?
Yes, you are allowed to make bonds with other characters. You're just gonna have to put them in your notes because there's only 6 on the front sheet there.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna do that actually. I'm gonna there.
So
Okay.
I can make a new bond with someone else too.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess I'm gonna need to make a Google Doc for notes on.
So, like, your choice right now is you can make a new bond with a character you haven't had a bond with yet. You can add to a bond. Alternatively, you can add to a bond that you have one bond with, and now you want to make it a 2 or a 3 or whatever. And finally, you can change bonds, and that's not an either-or thing. You can change whatever bonds you want. Because changing a bond is a lateral move, whereas making a new bond or adding to a bond are statistically an improvement because they make it easier to succeed checks.
Is it wasn't it like 1 positive and 1 negative trait, or is that like we can add more as time goes on?
So, you can have all positive traits. You can have a mix and match. The only limitation is you can't have 2 traits that are opposites. You cannot have mistrust and trust for the same bond. You know, you can't have affection and hatred for the same bond. But you can have trust and hatred, or mistrust and affection, or inferiority and trust.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna mark. Okay.
I hate you, but I know exactly where I stand with you.
Yeah. Like you trust you trust the person you hate to do what they say they're going to do.
With
And
the enemy,
be
you
who
know
you
where they
expect them to be.
stand. With the neutrals, who knows?
I'm gonna
And you
put-
can
yeah,
love
I'm
a
gonna
person.
add-
You can love a person that you know is a filthy fucking liar.
or
I'm gonna make one.
speaking from
with
personal
Ozzy.
experience, it's like, man, I love my family members, but I know I can't count on them for shit unless it's put on the calendar. They ain't gonna remember.
I'm gonna make one for Ozymandias.
Also, I can't
And,
put my character down on the world map.
You're gonna probably have to reload. Oh,
I'm gonna
What?
put Mistrust because despite their
that's weird. I can't put your character down on the world map.
one,
Oh.
is it one new bond for interlude?
You can add to a bond or create a new bond, one or the other. You can't do both.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna make Ozymandias and have this be Mistrust because despite their outward desire to get this done, they don't really like the fact that they're having to put this much faith in a guy they don't know. They're feeling kind of stuck.
Weird. I reloaded Roll20 and it won't let me put your character on there.
I guess it's really better one to Mistrust hatred. No, yeah.
What's up?
I can't put my character's icon on the map.
Have you
I don't even
probably
see them. Oh, there
have.
we are.
Why
Once
is
again,
Gore big? That's the
Big
second
Gore strikes again.
It's the third time, technically.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So are we gonna find out that Gore has this rare, like, giantification disease that occasionally just flares up?
Character's not built with that.
Oh, I know it's not built with that. It's just, I'm sorry, it's something I ate.
There's not all that much building of character in this game.
I don't know what's going on with Roll20. I don't know why Gore is giant. I don't know why Leica won't get on the map. It's fine. We can go through with it. I am modifying Gore though. Why are you doing this?
It
You
doesn't bother me.
It bothers me.
Lydia,
It bothers me a
Lydia,
lot.
bottom right of the map, Lydia. You can plop stuff down now.
I don't. Why can't
Assuming it works
put
for you.
character on map Roll20?
Let's try something. Select a token.
Yeah.
Is it because she's being put on like a DM layer or something?
No.
I mean, you wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah, I haven't touched your character at all, and I have no idea what. I mean, it worked last time, right?
Yeah.
God, I hope. Okay, you know what? It's fine. The map isn't super important. Why though?
Sometimes Roll20 just gonna be a bitch.
Roll20 glitchy out. What happened to Hole?
Don't worry.
Blinked out of existence for a moment, they're fine. Alrighty. I see Leica has become increasingly geometric.
What?
I put a square down.
So is your demonic ancestor Ramiel?
Oh my god.
Well, okay, that's strange. One person suggested grabbing the character name rather than the token, like rather than the picture. Okay, can you move around this weird anonymous object that for some reason doesn't have a token picture?
I can move the.
What about this person?
Nope.
No?
Okay, might be to be the one who drops it down. Click and drag from your name instead of like the icon.
I'm doing that.
Okay.
Hold on, let me try this.
Well,
I can't drag from my character sheet.
You know what? Let's.
Right?
Okay, what the hell happened to my sprite?
Roll 20, you piece of shit.
What's the question,
there.
Cassidy?
Why?
What the hell?
I'm uploading the sprite, but I uploaded the sprite, but it's the old one.
Try putting it down again.
Go to edit. You gotta
Nope.
remove
Yeah.
the old one,
Which I did.
and then under the avatar, you put this right there.
Yes.
If
Huh.
there's a thing below that that says default token. Yeah, like when you go in edit, there's avatar, and then under that is default token. If you change the default token, it'll change what your token is seen as.
There she is.
Hey, there you are.
Look
Oh,
like it still
Okay.
doesn't work.
You know what? I'm okay.
Look at
You know
it,
what?
sort it out.
We got 2 hours left. I want to do some story. We'll troubleshoot Roll20's bullshit later. Let's just. The maps aren't super important. It's more for flair than for anything else. So okay, we're on a forest path.
I guess
Yes.
Life has realized that it's hip to be square.
It's hip to be square. All right.
They are an edgy team. Oh, man. Or well, forest.
You're walking in the woods. There's no one around you, and your phone doesn't exist. Out of the corner of your eye, you spot him. Shia LaBeouf.
As soon as the music started playing, I took you seriously for a moment.
Okay.
I would.
All right, so you're walking through the woods.
Indeed.
It's a beautiful time. Just go ahead, move your tokens, or just move the map, scroll up. Go ahead and travel. The Dreamwoods are lovely. They are, however, eerily quiet.
Can I
It's-
use
it's a-
my monster hunting senses to get bearings and
You can do a double insight, or you can do a double insight, or if you can justify it using a different stat to try and figure out some stuff about the
basically
woods.
use the Witcher senses to.
Sure, I will imagine I know what that is. So the woods are lovely. They are eerily calm. You guys have spent most of your time roughly in civilization or in parts of the world that are already kind of barren. But it's now traveling through this forest that you realize another extent of the plague that maybe was not as apparent to you. Because there's just a lot less life here
That's
than there
11.
should be. Yeah, I'll get to it in a second. The trees are healthy. The foliage is healthy for the most part, if a bit overgrown. But there should be more birds. There should be little creatures stirring in the underbrush and in the trees, and there aren't.
This is an unpleasant place.
It's a very pleasant place. It's a beautiful woods. It's just
The
just
lack
empty.
of wildlife is putting them off.
It's
yeah.
just the place is lovely. It's just
Using your Witcher senses, like you do find some droppings, animal droppings.
So nothing in the way of fae, monsters, or
Nothing yet, but you do find some animal droppings that would belong to a significantly large mammal.
Ooh.
some evidence of life, at least.
that's some sort of large mammal. Would I be able to tell if it's
Bear,
carnivore
maybe?
or herbivore?
carnivore.
Definitely a carnivore, though.
A bear, perhaps?
Bears are not as common in Mediterra as other large animals. More likely to be a wolf or a lion.
I know there was.
Ah,
I believe I was once told the legend that one of the old Mediterranean gods, one of her companions, was a bear or could turn into a bear. I think.
Bears, but they're just not. They're not as common down south here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's more in the peninsula, the archipelago.
Island bears.
Drop bears.
You come across a fork in the path. Do you go left or do you go down?
Can
Hold
I
up.
use my bearings to know which is the correct direction to go geographically?
We were
No.
we were allowed to keep that map that Folly had, or
Yeah, you're allowed to keep that map. Like there are winding paths in the woods. Either way will eventually get you out, and to where you need to go. Neither one necessarily is better than the other. And also, these are Fey woods. Maps aren't
follow the
always
woods.
reliable.
that's true.
These...
This is really a coin flip. Do you go left or do you go down?
I made myself dizzy.
Like is going
Oh, no.
down.
Guess we're going that way.
Yes, I don't have a strong preference. Cassidy, are you alright?
Oh, no.
I am curious, like, about the whole implications that you're able to get dizzy.
Would you like to rest in your board for a moment?
No.
Yeah.
I mean,
Come on, come on
I
down.
don't blame Cassidy. These, after being stuck in the same place for so long, this is probably a nice change of pace for her.
Alright, come on down,
Yeah.
friends.
Is this nice, Cassidy?
Mostly.
Oh god.
All right. As you are traveling on the path, you see 5 men in matching silver gilded armor, bearing gold coins that have been welded to their helmets. When they see you, they grin. Well, my fellow taxmen, looks like
Yeah.
we've got some new marks. Time to pay the taxes! And you guys are now in a fight. Roll initiative.
Is our magic and everything healed from the last session?
Yeah, you're all up to full.
Okay.
You rested. You rested fully.
That's true, yeah.
Initiative.
Well, yeah, we gotta, like, do we all roll that individually, or what's it?
So what happens is, one of you needs to beat the initiative's roll of the enemy. The enemy's roll is a 10.
Okay. Initiative.
I got her.
That's...
She's there.
Yay!
Micah showed up.
What'd you do?
Roll20 figured out its shit a little bit.
I had to re-upload the ping.
Well, you know, whatever works.
I guess the file corrupted or
Alright.
something.
Yeah, initiative. How do I do that?
There should be a button.
Yeah, there's a button, I think, on the main page, the
Stat.
character page.
Check
of
your
character sheet,
stats.
or it might be your stats.
It's under
Defenses.
yeah, stats.
Initiative.
That makes sense because most of
11.
your battle shit's there. Yeah.
Like
Like
I
I got
Alright.
11.
Okay, so someone beat it. Now, you are allowed to take your turn in whatever order makes sense for you. The way we've been doing in the other campaign is that we just let whoever rolled highest go first and go in that order. But basically, like a reminder of how battles go in Fabula Ultima, especially when you're placing multiple opponents, because we haven't done that yet. When whichever team wins initiative order, your side or the enemy side, they go. One of their members goes first, then one of yours, then one of theirs, and we zipper back and forth until one side runs out, and then the other side just takes all their stuff at once. Everything that's left until everyone's had a turn. The turn order of who goes first does not matter and is at your discretion. We've only been using initiative to order the player character's turns because that is an easy way to make sense of it. But you're allowed to shift it each round. If one round it makes sense for Gore to go first, and then the next round it makes sense for Hole to go first, you can do that.
Yeah.
Just so you're aware.
I remember reading in the book there was an example of, hey, one of your party members casts a spell that makes them vulnerable to fire damage. You could let the person who deals fire damage go next.
Yeah. So
my suggestion would be whoever can cast an AoE spell.
Yeah.
I
But-
go for
but-
that, I believe. Yeah.
But right now, it would be a multi-spell technically.
Yeah,
A spell that can hit multiple people. But for now, you guys get to go first, and then it's going to be one of these goons.
I
Yeah, I
can
think,
hit up to 3
whoever
people,
can-
or I could give 3 of us a barrier.
I'd say hit 3 people.
Yeah, let's do a strong opening.
Alrighty. Da-da. Okay. 10 per target, so it'd be 30.
The magic attack.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me check a thing. See if I can upgrade the damage. I don't think I'll need to do that, so. Yeah, that?
That hits. They do not have much in the way of magic defense. So 3 plus 15 damage. And you're attacking 3 of these guys?
Yeah, they, water comes out of the, it goes up around their, staff, and they do a very quick, just whip across 3 of them.
Alright, nice. It beats the shit out of them. And one of them is like, alright, you little shit! I'm gonna really rob the fuck out of you!
Fuck.
Does 13 hit you?
I believe it does.
Oh, that's just wonderful. Okay.
Uh,
So you take
defense is 7.
you take 17 damage as he hits you with
Ow.
a sword.
Ow.
All right, next up.
Which one of these goons just hit?
Doesn't super matter, but I'm gonna say it's this guy. Fuck him.
Has he also taken damage?
Yes. I would say the ones in front took the damage, unless Hole specifies
Alright.
different ones.
Nope.
So when he whacks Hole, and then Lycus is like, Alonzi, a Hole son? And she is going to. Alright, how do I hit again? That would be in not magic. It would be in stats. Weapon. There we go. 15. Would a 15 hit?
You're attacking with a sword.
Yes.
Yes, that does hit.
For 17 damage.
Oh! You put that boy in crisis. Okay.
What does crisis mean again?
So crisis is when you are at half HP or lower.
see.
And sometimes that'll unlock different behaviors, powers,
I
etc.
might be-
And sometimes it might also make an enemy retreat.
Does it need to be? It's a half or lower.
Half or lower.
Yeah, bloodied.
Yeah. Okay.
For D&D nerds.
Almost that crisis.
Yes. Yes, you are.
Yeah, 'cause
all
I'm
right.
Squishy.
One of them is gonna go attack your ass. How dare you hurt his friend? 15 hit you?
Yes.
All right, take 18 damage.
Oh,
Oof.
There's a reason the taxman.
Also, remember, we can just generate health potions to heal our this too.
Yep.
yeah.
And I think at least one of you knows healing magic, probably.
Yeah,
yes.
Leica also has a lot of inventory, so.
Yeah, I have some healing I can do next turn because ow.
All right, one of you can go.
Alex would like to go next.
All right, Alex, get in there, you scamp.
Going to strike the one that just hit Leica.
Aww.
I like this that we're like, you hurt my friend, beats him up.
Oof.
You miss, unfortunately.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
He's not terribly experienced with violence.
This one takes his turn to laugh at you. Next.
That would be Cassidy or Gore.
Okay. Do I have to roll to hit for offensive spells or what?
Yes.
Yeah, you do. There should be like it should say what it has to roll under your class
There's
for
a little,
the spell.
Dice icon next to your spell.
Actually, TT, I have 3 added defense, so that would have not have hit me.
Well, I guess you can undo that HP, but just put that on your character sheet then.
Defense 14, added defense. So I'm at 17 defense, actually.
Okay,
I
well,
just noticed the added defense.
then
on
put
the
that
other-
in your character sheet so that you know that.
It is, just I didn't notice the added defense on the other side.
Okay.
How did you get that?
Dodge. I have
Oh.
levels in Rogue.
Oh, gotcha.
Make sure that's on your character sheet because
It
I'm
is.
not looking at your sheets. I'm looking at mine when I'm doing a fight.
It is. As I said, since it's split funky, I didn't look right.
Whose turn is it right now?
Gore,
is
Cassidy.
I don't know how to roll this thing. It doesn't want to roll.
It just did. Magic attack.
There you go, yeah.
That's a success. You do. Who are you attacking?
The dude right in front of Leica.
I will also point out that is a critical success, so...
Oh, damn.
Yeah, you killed that man and you gain an opportunity. Let me go over those. We can also make up one, but for now, let's just do the basic bitch ones. Where's the opportunity list? It's on here somewhere. Opportunities. Types of opportunities. Advantage. Next check you perform gets a +4 bonus. Affliction. A
Ooh.
creature suffers from dazed, shaken, slow, or weak conditions. Bonding. You create a new bond or add an emotion to a pre-existing bond. Faux pas. Choose a character in a given scene, make that character make a compromising statement, and reveal something that they wouldn't have wanted to. Favor. You make an ally of a character who was not one previously in the scene. Information. You spot a useful clue or detail. Lost item. An item is destroyed, lost, stolen, or left behind. Progress. There's no clock right now, so don't worry about that. Plot twist. Someone or something of your choice suddenly enters the scene. Scan. You discover one vulnerability or trait of a creature or character you can see. And unmask. You learn the goals or motivations of a creature or character of your choice. Some of those don't really feel like they make sense for this moment.
What was
But
that
some of them
first
could be
one?
useful. Advantage. Next check you perform gets a +4 bonus.
Okay, I'll take that one.
Nice. All right.
Let's
One of
shoot
them
this
just
man.
one of them just saw one of their friends die.
She clawed
Please.
right into his chest, and he immediately started flickering, then disappeared.
Oh.
Gore, it is your turn.
Okay. These all look like fairly martial boys, correct?
Yes.
Alright. Just going to move up and smack the guy in front of Alex then.
Oh, I should add that my magic caused slow on the people it hit.
Oh, you should have, yes.
Where is that goddamn thing? There it is. Swingity chain. 12 to hit and
You kill that man. You kill that man dead. The other remaining survivor also flees. It's the start of the next round. Who wants to go first?
I
She has
do.
+4.
Cassidy.
Yeah.
You go
Uh,
first because you
are
have
you-
+4.
yeah, I just wanted to ask first. I do have an ability that would convince them to leave, but do you think it would be more appropriate for Cassidy to just eat that man?
What would you prefer?
If I may make a suggestion, that advantage you get, the +4 to the next check, it doesn't dissipate when we leave combat. You get that no matter what, for whatever next check you make. So if you want to scare this guy off, Cassidy, you still get that +4 to whatever your next check is.
I think I'll go with DZ's plan.
DZ, do your thing.
So I have the Orator skill Unexpected Ally. I'm not really trying to be his friend, but I could spend a fabulous point to wait, it is hostile. Fuck, never mind. But, shit, I should really read my shit more. Apologies.
If no one else has anything else, Glycol can just stab him.
I'm fine with that.
Could try and intimidate him off too.
Whatever that takes or whatever's.
You can just stab him. Like, feel free, go ahead.
Intimidate, okay, so...
That's max damage.
Good lord. Fuck.
Alright, you've killed 3 taxmen. Let me just turn off this music. And you know what that means, gang?
Da, da, da,
Hey. Who did that twice?
I think it reverberated through someone's speakers.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a nightmare. Anyway, you
I
succeeded.
didn't hear it, so probably.
Who we lose?
Oh no, okay.
Okay, alright?
Yeah, I didn't hear it reverberate twice, so I figured it had to
Neither did I.
be.
Alright.
I didn't hear either.
And you suddenly hear,
Clapping.
"Well done! Well done!" And a fellow flips out of the forest and stands before you, a goblin fellow, dressed in enough bright colors to show that he is a person of some wealth, and yet the colors
goblin
clash.
fellow. Would you say he is a good fellow of the Robin persuasion?
And yet the colors clash in such a way that he seems almost like a jester or something.
Jesus
He
Christ.
does a deep bow to you all
Jesus.
and says, "Welcome, good friends, if we be friends. I am Robin Goodfellow, but you may call me Puck."
Oh god!
Well, you
But
said
made
so
him
called it.
And of course, you modeled him after David Bowie.
Listen, when I think I need to make a hot goblin boy, it's always David Bowie. It's just where my mind goes.
But TT, question: where's the grumpy dad he's attached to?
Grumpy Dad?
How do I use
Oh, you're
this
talking
item?
Berserk. Berserk, yes, I get what you're saying.
And God of War. They did it twice.
Puck appears in God of War?
Yeah, he's Mimir. Yeah, they
It's
established that,
Range?
They
Yeah, it's-
established that Mimir is also from Midsummer Night's Dream as Puck.
He moved, apparently.
That's huh. Okay.
And that's
Uh,
why he's Irish.
He became person non grata back
But
home.
Midsummer Night's Dream takes place in
I mean,
ancient Greece.
I mean,
Does it?
Scottish, because he's familiar with all the Shakespeare plays.
Yeah, the plot of Midsummer Night's Dream occurs during the wedding of Theseus and Hippolyta.
Oh,
Yeah,
been a while.
It is explicitly in ancient Greece in the time of antiquity.
right. It just must have been adapted then.
Yeah. How do I use items?
So,
Item.
anyways, back to the story that we're in.
Yeah. Hold on.
Pug
Yeah,
does a
good.
humble bow. I welcome you to the Dreamwoods. You seem like very well-seasoned travelers, and it was really amazing watching you beat up those taxmen. If you would like, I could show you to a village where you can rest and take a brief sanctuary from the dangers of the woods.
Oh,
So,
that's very generous of you, good fellow.
question.
Mhm.
As one fey to another, what's the vibe I'm getting from this guy? Is he
So,
like
okay,
that?
Gore, I need to establish, are you an exiled goblin, or are you a goblin who lived within the Fey courts?
He lived within the fey communities, and he's
Okay,
not,
then you know, when you hear the name Robin Goodfellow and Puck, you know Robin Goodfellow and Puck. Maybe not like
Fuck.
personally. This is the seneschal to the emperor of the Unseelie court of Mediterra. This is the number 2, the head butler, the main servant, the go-to right-hand man of the emperor of the Mediterranean Unseelie court. He is one of the most powerful fairies in existence, in terms of like political power, and he has been such for thousands of years by this point.
Fuck.
So, like I said, Gore's not an exile. He left on his own terms.
Mm-hmm.
But anyways, he to essentially let Robin know that he knows, he does kind of a tip of the hat motion and a nod, but he doesn't say anything.
Puck
Yeah.
smiles and gives you a slight subtle nod in as well. What else you would know about Puck as a fairy? Puck is a master of fairy mischief. An incredibly competent servant to his fairy master. And very famous among goblin kind in particular, because not only is he a goblin with an unusually high social rank for goblins, but he has kept that rank, again, for millennia.
It's nice to meet you, Mr. Goodfellow.
Greetings, Mr. Goodfellow.
Again, call me Puck. We're all friends here.
Puck, then.
Greetings, Puck.
And what festivities are on the docket for tonight, good Puck?
And at that, you see that his very cheery smile, it doesn't fade, but it cracks a little bit. And he's like, well, I can offer you succor and safety for your stay in the woods.
It is very kind.
If you will follow me.
I would like to read his intentions.
Mm-hmm.
I would too.
Double insight, unless you can justify using another stat.
Yeah, I'll use that insight. Yeah.
Like that's a
11.
Okay. You're more like you're trying to get a read on him, but mostly you're just focused on that fucking outfit. So many colors. Why so many colors? Why? Whole. he's genuine. He's genuine in his in what he is saying to like invite you over. There's no malice. There's no subterfuge. But you do get the sense that he's hiding like pain. The smile isn't forced in a "I'm trying to trick you" way. It's forced in a
I'm sad.
"I'm going through some shit and I'm trying to put on a brave face" way.
Gotcha.
Thank you for your offer, Puck. I would enjoy a respite after that wound I took.
The multicolored
Hole
stranger.
does look. What?
The multicolored stranger, wearing the motley of a jester, yet with the pompous air of a prince and the swagger of a god.
Lord.
Is he friend or foe?
Maybe both.
Leica did not know, but she knew that if push comes to shove, her blade would taste blood once more.
There it is.
I told you, when we find an appropriate moment, I'd give you your monologue.
Blade would taste blood or shove him into a locker.
We're going somewhere to rest, so I guess I don't necessarily need to heal just yet.
Yeah, everybody, let's surround Puck
Yes.
and stare at him.
We would not be opposed to your hospitality, good fellow, good Puck.
Yeah, Hole is like clutching their side where they got fucking stabbed.
Whoa.
There's some fucking creatures on this map.
Yeah, this is goblins.
Gore, the village Puck takes you to. Hey, why aren't you loading? The village Puck takes you to is not what his reputation would make you expect. Puck is the major domo, the head steward to an emperor. You would think he would take you to a palace. Instead, you are taken to one of the most quaint and small fairy villages you have ever seen. Sparsely populated with a few hobgoblins, a few pixies, a few buganes, a few low elves, one orc, and one bugbear. More to the point, it looks relatively new, like the houses were recently erected. As Puck goes through, everyone is saying hi to him cheerfully, and they likewise welcome you with cheer. And Puck says, "I will arrange some festivities. Please feel free to mingle with the locals. If you have not interacted with the Fae before, I do advise you not to give your name when asked. Simply respond, 'I will not give you my name, but I will let you hear it if that pleases you.' All right? All right. Also, be wary of any food that is offered to you. I am specifically going to make some mortal food for you. All right?
Thank you.
I'm
Yes,
guessing
thank you, Puck.
I'm guessing that food warning doesn't apply to Gore, right?
It does not apply to Gore. You can eat fairy food, no problem.
Yeah. I was pretty sure, but I'm just double checking.
It's not a problem for Cassidy because Cassidy can't eat it.
Yep. So Puck
can they take
retreats
Cassidy's
into
name?
what? Yeah, they can take that.
Cassidy's name?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Fae have certainly bonded undead to them. That is nothing crazy.
Knucklelovey, Banshees.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There's a whole section of fairies in my bestiary that are specifically occult fairies that are both arcane and occult in nature. I mean, technically all things are occult in nature because all living things have souls, but there are some that are occult in the ghost/Cambion sense.
Anyone look injured?
There is the old orc in the corner by the purple bush, or purple tree. He has many war wounds, and he seems possibly even crippled by them. He moves very stiffly, and he has to pause several times to take rest. But he's not like recently injured.
I will say Whole like that catches their eye, and they do head that directly towards the orc.
Mortal.
Greetings.
This old orc welcomes you. to our humble village.
This young wizard is honored to be welcomed. I was.
Tell me, young wizard,
Mm,
how are
yeah,
things in the woods?
they are very quiet.
Yes. I used to do rounds, talk with all the trees. Too weak for it now.
The trees seem well.
Good.
They're growing well. If I may, I noticed your pains, and I was a healer during the plague. I thought perhaps I might be able to offer you some comfort.
Any succor I can get would be much appreciated.
Yeah. Do I have that ritual? Or am I just literally just cast heal on them?
I can just let you
Oh, I do.
cast a nice healing spell that soothes his arthritis, makes the joint pain go away.
Yeah, I could also do like a ritual spiritism, right?
Mm-hmm.
I could take some time to just
You
magically
could.
heal
You
wounds
could.
and
That's a lot of
restore.
MP to spend.
That's true, yeah. And I already just spent someone a spell.
Mm-hmm. He's not like dying of a wound or anything. He's old and he's been through a lot of battles and his body is showing showing it.
Yeah. How much does this cost me? Healing costs me 10. Oh god, I did just burn through 30.
Can just
Yeah.
let you I can just say that you do a nice healing spell. You're allowed that as a character. You don't have to roll
Yeah.
for everything in Fabula Ultima.
Does that gonna use my MP?
No, I can just say that you do
Okay.
it. It's fine.
Yeah.
You are
when they go
allowed.
to
We're not
do it-
D&D. You are allowed.
When they go to do it, like, oh god, how do I word this? Because this, it's the first time they've healed since they've been mashed together. What does like healing magic visually look like?
So, I really like the stock fantasy trope of like when a person heals something, there's sort of a bluish, whitish glow that looks very soothing and like the light effect version of aloe. And just you can he doesn't have like obvious wounds that would seal up or anything, but you can
Yeah.
feel him get a little bit more vitality from it.
I
I
think
am
with this,
curious.
it's like that, but it's the glow is a very like soothing red color.
Mm-hmm. You're
Because
killing
now-
his pain rather than
Yes.
healing his flesh.
I'm killing his pain.
Yeah, I'm curious. What technically, like, does healing magic fall under a particular school?
Healing magic is generally water magic because water magic is also creation / life magic. However, it depends on what you're healing. If you're healing a wound, it's water magic. If you are killing a disease or destroying a poison, that's actually fire magic. And
Interesting.
if you're stabilizing things, that's earth magic. If you're changing the circumstances, that's wind magic. All of the 4 elements can be used to do the general idea of healing. It's generally like a general like a layman's understanding of magic is water magic equals healing, but that's a supreme simplification. Healing someone with magic is far more complex, just as hurting someone with magic is far more complex. Like, if you wanted to poison somebody, that would be a fire magic spell. But if you wanted to give someone a disease, that's a water magic spell. Because you are encouraging a malignant life inside the person you're afflicting. And if you wanted... Yeah.
Hull's internal wires have been crossed, so they were a healer with water magic, which also meant they weren't particularly good at it during, the plague.
Mm-hmm.
But now they're like internal wires have been crossed, which is why their combat magic was water, which surprised themselves when they used it against Ranzagar.
Mhm.
So when they go and they use this on the orc, their like visible surprise on their in like their body language.
The York isn't surprised. He doesn't know what you were trying. He just knows that it feels good, and he puts a big mitt on your shoulder. And is like, "Thank you."
You're welcome.
All right, Alex, you wanted to talk to the bugbear?
So that's a bugbear.
Bugbear is sort of a waste bucket genus for various fairies whose biology is hard to place. They definitely seem to be chimeras of some sort, but it's only a slight exaggeration to say no two bugbears look alike. They can have any number of arms and legs, any number of eyes, any number of mouths. They can be hairy or scaly or feathery or all of those or none of those. They are just bizarre monsters whose anatomy and evolutionary origins can only make sense as being something that occurred in fairyland.
And
So
I
this
don't
is
believe
what
I've ever.
one bugbear looks like, but other bugbears could look wildly different.
Yeah, because I remember seeing pictures of Bubba.
Yeah, Big Bubba Bugbear is another bugbear, and he looks wildly different. For those of you who've read Wizard School Mysteries, Astray Bygone, the little weirdo who lives in the library and works as the lost and found guy of the school, is also a bugbear, and he looks like a Paralorosaurus-headed furry tentacle monster. So
Interesting. And how does this bugbear react as Alex carefully approaches? Not in the sense of I'm afraid of them, I just don't want to startle them.
he looks at you and he smiles as warmly as a creature with that face can smile. And he does it with all three of his mouths, by the way, including the ones on his hands.
Hello.
He says with a squeaky voice.
Oh. It's like, you have a lovely voice.
Thank you.
Might I ask to whom I'm speaking?
They call me Mr. Scary Shanks.
Aww.
You don't seem that scary to me. Unless that is what you want to come across as.
You know, I just do what I do.
That's really the best anyone can hope to do, really.
Yeah. I forgot. I have a really good music for this area. Give me 1 second.
Mm-hmm.
So, how you liking the town?
Seems like a very sweet community.
Yeah.
Have you been here long?
Oh, no. I was on a mission for a while, but then it and he frowns, and there's like again just this moment where the chipperness he's trying to convey breaks, and you see a sadness beneath, and he's like, it ended, so I came back here, and then I ended up here.
Oh.
If you this music just hit me.
It is one of my favorite tracks from the Baldur's Gate soundtrack, and that's huge praise from me because that whole soundtrack is a banger.
Yeah, it eked out high. Well, not
I love the Last Light In theme. It's so pretty, and it just conveys a mood very well of a nice little place to be.
Also a little forlorn against all
Mhm.
odds.
Yeah. The bugbear sits a moment in the silence between you. He's like, do you mind if I ask a kind of serious question?
I can try and answer it to the best of my ability.
Did you lose any?
What was that?
It cut out, sorry.
Deputy?
Your
Did you
mic.
lose anyone during the plague?
Oh. Yes. The people who raised me, my mom and pop.
And then it nods and it's like, I lost my family.
Oh.
Aww.
I was supposed to watch over them. I was told they were important, and I was watching over them, and then the little boy got sick. And then his parents got sick. And I tried to keep them alive, but... And his 6 eyes begin watering.
Oh.
Alex will unprompted hug Mr. Scary Shanks.
He's very soft. And
He'll try to throw out his arms as best as he could around this
Go to
unit.
bed.
Yeah. You just kind of sink into him, but he hugs you with his weird snake arms, and like you do feel like his chest kind of heaving a bit, his cephalothorax really, and tears do fall down his very soft purple fur. He doesn't outright sob. He's holding it in very well, but like
I've found it's okay to cry. It's good to let it out. Makes you feel better afterward, at least in my experience.
got back, and most of the people here are gone.
Yeah. I don't think any place was spared, really.
Deal with this.
Well, I've been trying to stick by the people who are still around, you know? I used to have, and I still do have so much love for my parents, but since they're gone, I have to give that love to other people. People who need it. People who are suffering, just like you. Like me.
He looks at you, and he cracks a bittersweet but genuine smile, and he hugs you and says, "Thank you."
You seem very sweet.
You seem sweet, too.
Thank you. I'm gonna go join my friends now.
He
Take
lets
care,
you
Mr.
go.
Scary Shanks.
He waves with one of his snake arms.
Alex will like giggle a little bit. It's like, are those as floppy as they seem?
They are absolutely floppy. My intention of bugbears is that they would all generally I think all creatures should be Muppets, but bugbears especially would be Muppets.
Bugbears are basically the monsters in your closet.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Right?
they're like the platonic child's idea of a monster.
Yeah, as soon as I saw it, I can't remember the name of that one show. It was
Scary Godmother.
Scary Godmother. I immediately got flashbacks to that, and I had to book it to them.
Bugaboo.
Bugaboo.
Aww.
Which is so Bugbear, Bugane, Bugaboo, Bogey, Boogeyman. They're all the same root. They're all the same word at the root.
That makes
They're all
sense.
just variations of each other by different cultures and time periods. Bugbear, I think, is and it should technically be pronounced Boogbear, not Bugbear, but Bugbear works just as well. I'm fairly certain that's the oldest version of the word, which is why I decided that should be the one that's associated with the platonic ideal of a boogeyman, i.e., what a kid thinks of when they just think of a monster.
Mm-hmm.
Aww.
And just remember, Scary Shanks, there's still people around you gotta love.
All right, that's Scary Shanks. So there are
Yeah,
lots
pretty
of other generic fairies that you can talk to, which are all willing to offer you stuff in their shops. You don't have to necessarily role play that. I am going to show you what you can get from the three generic villagers, the three types of generic villagers in town. I'm going to post this in our loot room. We do have one of those, right? I didn't forget to make it. Good. Okay, so we got one.
Yeah.
All right. So there's a shop by the Bugains, which are those sort of eel-like creatures with the striped bodies. There are hobgoblins, which are the tiny little goblins, and there are pixies that have a shop. And then the low elves are just here for flavor.
Okay.
Good
So-
shit in here. Crap.
Yep.
Yeah. Sword doesn't do anything for me as a player.
There is just one of each item, by the way. So there's a bogey mask, which, if you're wearing it, if you have it equipped, when a creature is shaken, all damage you deal to it ignores their resistances. There are
Ooh.
gloves to help you resist each type of status condition: dazed, weak, slow, and shaken. There's a special sword, there's a special flail, there's a special dagger. There's a belt that gives you +4 to initiative, and there is a worn caduceus staff, which is a staff that has that's a sculpture of two snakes on it. That is specifically helpful for healing.
I'm eyeing that staff.
Yeah, that seems perfect for you.
Yeah. Let's see, where's my existing
Like-
staff?
Look at the sound of that dusk flail.
And maybe that dagger too.
Yeah, I got the money for it.
So, are the stats there for the weird weapons? Is that on top of what the weapons normally do?
Nope, that's just how those weapons are particularly shaking out.
Interesting.
What's double WLP mean?
Willpower.
That means-
So that means you roll willpower twice for your attack roll.
Yeah. Okay.
That means the dusk flail does 3 less damage, but is more accurate.
And it
This
makes you
does-
immune to being shaken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
This
go
does
ahead and buy
one
the-
less.
Sorry.
Go.
I said, so yeah, I'll go ahead and buy the dusk flail.
This does one less damage than my staff, but I hopefully will not have to use the staff as my weapon to run out of magic. So I will take the better healing.
It has other benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah, Leica's gonna go for the Explorer's Belt and the Latrodectus.
And okay. Arcane. Learn. Caduceus. Staff.
Okay.
Very
I would like to purchase the warm gloves.
Willpower.
Okay. Is anyone eyeing the rough gloves?
Oh, double willpower. So that +2 just means like it would be a +2 on top of the double willpower roll.
Yes.
Yeah. It's essentially
Okay.
+2 to hit.
They charge 5. Yeah.
And who is selling the? Okay,
So-
that is from the Bugain shop.
Yep.
It's in the pixie.
Does anyone want the rough gloves? Because I'll take those if they don't.
I already have a pair of gloves.
Which gloves? The rough gloves?
Yeah.
You cannot be weak. I don't know what these things do yet. So
Checking the. I posted helpful images.
Let's see. Weak temporarily reduces your might die by a size.
Okay, that doesn't bother me because I use willpower for my magic.
Yeah, I'll take. I'll also take the elegant gloves if someone else isn't.
The angel gloves.
Oh,
The
wait,
gloves.
slow,
Copy
still two.
days. Week. Pokemon.
FYI, I have taken the warm/shaken gloves.
Actually, hmm,
And as an FYI, from what I remember reading, your die can be reduced by each step until 6. It can't go any lower than that.
Yes.
I've got a D10.
And
You took
likewise,
the,
can't go higher than a D12.
Alright,
You
so.
took the warm gloves, DC.
Yeah, and in case things pan out, we can swap or whatever.
I think I might switch to the elegant gloves. No, never mind. Insight's not very high. So
I don't currently have a spell that causes shaken.
Hmm?
So
Would
how
be-
does how does offhand attacks work again? DT?
I think you have to have some sort of class ability that lets you use both because normally you only get one action per turn.
Right.
And I think that's a class-related thing,
Alright, right.
which I don't have memorized, so I'd have to look and find which
That's
class
fair.
mentions it.
Lydia, what weapon do you use?
None.
actually, I think I go
Ah.
with I think I go with the silky gloves since the flail needs double dexterity, which is weird, but whatever. Good with me taking the silky gloves, or
Silky gloves. Could that be slow?
slow downs your
Um,
dexterity?
My dexterity's not great, so it's fine.
Okay.
My stats are.
My stat it prioritizes dexterity, but I already got a bunch of items, so it's only fair you get silky gloves.
Okay.
Yeah, like I got the D10 and willpower and insight, and then a D6 in might and dexterity. So those
I don't
can't get any
know.
worse.
I don't know if Cassidy has a means of inflicting shaken reliably, but it feels like out of the items here, that would be like most thematically appropriate for a ghost.
Yeah. Can you do that, Lydia?
I don't think so.
There's probably some class abilities that can let you do it, and there's definitely some weapon abilities that can let you do
It
it.
takes 1,000 out of my.
I'm sorry, my brain is a million miles away right now.
It's okay. It's the kind of thing that might not be useful now, but it might be very useful later.
Yeah. Because shaken sounds like something that you can cause as a spooky.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I have some questions to the designers.
That dagger's really fucking nice. Damn.
Dagger, red hourglass hilt. That's insight +2. 10 poison damage.
I don't think I can use
Which I already get a
martial.
+2 from my class, so.
I don't think I can use martial weapons, which is a shame because otherwise I'd want that flame.
Yeah, I can't.
The Flame Burge?
Yes.
I can, but I'm not a might build.
Filthy dex user.
Damn
Harry,
fucking
this
great.
I honestly might grab the flamberge just so to have it.
Yeah, you can always multi-class later and get,
Mm-hmm. And it's just, or it could just give it to an ally and just say, "Fuck that dude over there."
Yeah, Lydia, you should grab the bogey mask. The boogie mask, not bogey mask, because that's probably something you can use later.
Okay.
And even if you can't, I might be able to get a spell later that can cause shaken. You might get spells later that can cause shaken. I feel like that's just a useful thing to grab.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Cassidy wearing a cute mask.
Well, cute monster mask.
Cute, same thing. I know what I said. Yeah. Okay. What gloves are left after that?
I mean, I feel like you guys have enough money. You can just buy all the gloves and use them at your convenience.
I mean, there's only one really that's useful to me, but DZ also wanted that.
The warm gloves?
The yeah, 'cause shaken does fuck up my magic.
Yeah, by all means.
I mean, if you need that for your willpower too, like, you know,
Mhm.
I'm not gonna take that from you. Just my magic is all my eggs are in the one basket.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll go ahead and take the sword just to have it.
Fair.
If one of us can use it down the line, or we have an ally who can use it, there.
Let's see. Weak. Your might die, but I don't use that. Don't use dexterity. Insight. Okay. Dazed. I think. Does anyone take the elegant gloves?
Don't think so.
Those are free.
Yeah, I'll take the elegant gloves and the Cadus staff. I don't use my insight for magic, but I do use it for, you know, my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where did I put you? Stats. Okay, accessory.
Yeah, can't use martial weapons yet.
Elegant gloves. Okay, that's 1,000 gold.
Well, we're figuring that out. I know you said we won't roleplay it too much, but I am curious, like, are these just really well-made materials, or is there something, fayish about them?
So all this materials you get from the Bougains is made from Bougain skin. Bougains routinely shed their leathery amphibian skin, and often are expert sewers, and they use their own hide to make a variety of leatherwork material. So that's what provides the enchantment of these leather gloves and this leather mask. This leather monster mask. And Bougains are a type of boogeyman. In fact, with the exception of the low elves and the pixies, everything in this village is a boogeyman, which are the least magical variety of fairy, and yet also kind of the most important because they are the inherently the best at connecting fairyland to the mortal world.
That's weird.
The hobgoblins made the weapons, and goblins and hobgoblins are renowned amongst fairies for their skill as blacksmiths and tinkerers. They're probably beaten only by gnomes in terms of being great blacksmiths, and that's because gnomes are masters of earth magic. But where goblins and hobgoblins lack a magical advantage, they make up for it in ingenuity. Goblin-made weaponry and machinery tends to be like subtly clever and cunning in its construction. They make excellent weapons and just really bizarre yet useful contraptions. And then Pixies are very skilled with wind magic and chaos and change. And because they tend to be very curious and explorative, they're very good at finding rare treasures and things.
Fascinating. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I would like to. Oh, go on.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
I was just going to express. Alex would be thanking the Bugains with the transaction made. It's like these are really warm. It's sort of like my mum's.
Oh, thank you. They're like my mums too.
Aww.
She taught me how to sew,
Oh. Mine taught me lots of things, and I have lots of aunties too.
I had lots of aunties too.
Hey!
And again, the
Aww.
smile falters. He said had.
Aw.
Aww.
Leica's going over the dagger. It's like, reminds me of home. Reminds me of home.
There are hobgoblins at your home?
What? Mostly fellow other Cambions, but
Oh.
there is a bunch of hobgoblins there. Yes, just used to be more, but
Yeah, I was just hoping. Oh, it's probably. Never mind.
anyone you're
Aw.
looking.
had a-
Anyone you're looking in particular?
I had a friend named Wren. That's Wren with a W. Like the bird. Because goblins and hobgoblins often take names after bird names.
Does that mean
The,
Robin is a... Yeah, Robin's a goblin, right?
Yeah, Robin Goodfellow. Robin Goodfellow, he strays the line between hobgoblin and goblin. He's either a very tall hobgoblin or a very short and thin goblin.
Would Leica have known a Wren?
Leica would not have known a Wren. We wrote each other a lot, but about 5 years ago, it was really hard to get letters out, and
Unless he kind of lived on the island we lived in. I don't
No, she lives in the Dionian forest.
haven't been through there yet. But if I find a Wren, I'll let them know that you're worried.
And they hug your knee.
Aw, I'll
Aww.
let you know.
Because hobgoblins are generally like 2 to 3 feet tall.
Does this count as an interlude section?
Yeah, we can count it as an interlude section. It's not a conflict scene for them for damn sure. So
So how did you make this?
well, then he goes through the entire process of blacksmithing a sword, as well as enchanting it while doing so. Notably specifying, like, goblin materials tend to exclude iron for obvious reasons.
Yeah,
so
cold
they-
iron and all that.
Yeah, they generally make things out of steel. Doesn't have iron in it, right?
Steel? Yeah.
Steel.
Yeah.
pretty
But
sure-
bronze and copper.
Yeah, so it's bronze, copper, other sturdy metals, anything that does not explicitly have iron or the name iron in it.
Pixie's the one with the staff. It's a worn staff, yeah. Like
Mhm.
it looks old.
And the pixie looks just a little bit bashful or ashamed. It's like, yeah, it's old.
That is not an insult. It looks like it has been put to use, which is important.
Definitely saw some use, I assume.
That is good. I can feel that the staff was used for much healing.
Yeah, I don't think it quite got the job done when it was needed most at the time, but you can probably change that.
I would like to. I was a healer during the plague. Any help is worth.
Well, then put it to good use. I think that'll honor it.
I will do my
You can-
best.
You can make an insight check if you'd like.
Okay. I would like to, yeah. Oh, that was, I got to scroll down to insight, yeah. 11!
Knowing that pixies find stuff, and the way the pixie is sort of dancing around the topic, they found this on a dead person. They found this on a dead person,
Yeah.
and they feel a bit ashamed of that. But like, times are
mean,
tough. You gotta
yeah.
scrounge what you can scrounge.
Yeah, they look at the pixie.
I am sure they own I'm sure whoever this belonged to is happy it will get put to use.
The pixie smiles a little sadly. I don't think they feel much of anything anymore.
Aw.
But they are no longer in pain.
Yeah.
And perhaps with this I can save others.
That would be nice.
It would be. Thank you.
Okay.
Take care of yourself.
You as well. Puck exits the big house. Says, all right, mortal friends, and newfound goblin friend, please come. Dinner is served.
As we're walking over, oh yeah, never mind.
So you
I'll go
guys
over.
file into the house, which does not have its own map. You're just gonna have to use the theater of the mind for this one. You enter this well built but very quaint house. There's food laid out for you. It's not a huge banquet. It's the kind of thing that a peasant family would put together when times have been plentiful enough that they can entertain strangers and provide them hospitality, but not so plentiful that they can make like a rich man's feast out of it. Puck welcomes you all and gestures for you to sit down. And you can see he's putting on a brave face, but also he feels very ashamed that this is all he can offer.
Aw. Would it?
You-
Alex will
would it
extend,
be a faux pas to be like, this is delightful.
I don't think it would be a faux pas. No, you'd be fine.
This is wonderful, thank you.
This is exactly how I used to eat I've been eating for a while. It's delightful.
I'm gonna say, like, you guys have seen Gore destroy a table, essentially.
Yeah.
On his plate, he actually took less than most people usually would, and he takes very slow, his time slowly savoring each bite. He says, "Good Puck. This is maybe not the feast that we would imagine, but is quite the feast for the senses and the soul."
He smiles. He's like, "Thank you. I'm sorry it could not be more. I'm used to being able to offer a great deal more to guests, but
Do not apologize. The Red Death has put many of us on hard times.
he nods, and he's really forcing that smile, but he's keeping it up. He's like, I have to admit now that it is not purely hospitality that drives me to invite you to this feast and to stay in our woods. Seeing you take on those brutes, I need to ask you a favor.
Ah, shit.
Are you being plagued by some sort of other monster or brute in these woods?
Puck says, the Dream Woods were the home of my late master, Emperor Oberon of the Unseelie Court, and his beautiful wife, Titania. They did not survive the plague.
You have my condolences.
Is this common knowledge?
No.
Oh, and Core's eyes pop wide.
Yeah, you
They
just
nod
basically
slowly.
found out your
But-
emperor and queen are dead.
Or
Oh,
the Emperor and Queen of this court.
Listen.
Dor is from Bretons, right?
Yeah.
So it wouldn't be his
Anglo-Sax.
court, but at the same time, like, the fairy courts are known to each other.
This is
Um,
fucking huge, and the fact that he hasn't heard, even as cut off as he is wild.
Their attendants are also gone. Peace Blossom, Mustard Seed. And, like, you can see, like, right now, he's holding it in. These were not just his coworkers, these were his friends. Friends of thousands of years. These forests used to be teeming with my kind. Those that you met out there are all that's left.
Ugh.
No. I didn't realize. And I suppose that makes you very vulnerable.
Yes. We used to have a powerful king and queen and knights. And now it's just a few stray boogeymen and low elves and pixies.
And you. They have you as their closest thing to a leader, I guess.
But I am no soldier. I am a mischief maker. I am a comedian. I am a trickster and a prankster. I am not a warrior. And there are men, mortal men, who are now prowling my woods, attacking people and robbing them of money and taking their lives when they see fit to. And I do not have the power to stop them. It is taking all of my power to keep them from finding our little sanctuary here.
Good Puck. May I offer an observation for...
Of course.
In times like these, when there are few, when it is best to stay hidden and safe, a trickster is more useful than many a soldier.
It is true enough, but
This comes from someone who likewise had a very small contingency at his home.
I fear for my people, my friends. And I fear for the people traveling these woods. The Dream Woods are not... Oberon would not have wanted these woods to be a place where people are robbed and murdered. I can't protect the travelers in these woods. I can barely protect my people here. Which is why I would like to entreat upon your skills, having seen you rout some of the thugs already. If you could find their boss and rout him, then perhaps they will stop prowling my forest and my people will be safe, and travelers will be safe. And in that regard, I would be doing well by Oberon and Titania.
Oh.
Alex will speak up and say, it's the least we can do. You've already offered us so much hospitality.
In Leica's brain, an idea starts to grow. A mischievous idea.
Okay.
My father taught me that if one does not have the strength to remove a threat, then conveying or displaying the projection of it, even if it's not there, works in equal measure. He told me of a general from the east who only had 100 men against an army of 15,000. But he had a notorious reputation. So what he did when the enemy army approached is he held open his doors and had his men clean while he played lute, and the enemy army, so terrified by his own presence, fearing that it led to a trap, fled. While we do not have that, perhaps creating a new myth in these woods might.
Yes, because if we were to just drive them out, another group could think that they have what it takes.
But if they were to think this woods was haunted by a scary or powerful ghost, monster, spirit, then that would keep out.
It would keep you away from coming.
For decades, even centuries, even enough for people to find actual sanctuary here, perhaps.
And all right,
So
it's a workable idea.
basically, what Like is suggesting is we Scooby-Doo the situation.
Okay.
Yeah, well, we need to figure out how.
Simple. We create the idea of a scary new monster, and then
Well,
Yeah.
I do have a suggestion towards that.
Mm-hmm.
Considering that we didn't slay obviously all of them. Some of them did flee on their own accord after witnessing Cassidy, our Red Death Plague ghost, drain their life
Yeah.
force.
beyond decapitate another one.
Mechanically, which among you are spellcasters, and what discipline are you, i.e. what class?
Leica is a chimerist.
Necromancer slash entropist.
Yeah,
Is an entropist slash what?
Necromancer.
Okay.
I am a spiritist and scrolling elementalist.
And Arcanist and Chimerist.
And I do not appear to have any disciplines.
All right. I think with Puck's help, you guys could do a ritual spell together.
Yeah.
Large area, so you would times the MP cost by 3, but we'd be splitting it between all of you casters, so it wouldn't be that bad. To make the scariest motherfucking illusion they've ever seen.
Should we base it on Cassidy? Because Cassidy, the people saw Cassidy eat a guy?
I think we should probably base it on Puck.
That's true as well.
Refuse to
like
be.
that. But I believe Puck would want to remain approachable.
Well, these
No,
woods have always belonged to you fairy folk. That maybe reinforcing that would work.
Oh, perhaps, yeah.
If you let me do the speaking, I would be glad to be the center of this grand trick.
We could always allow it to be used when necessary.
Given that the Red Death has decimated the populations, you could create the illusion that something from a foreign land came in here and set root. I've heard a tale of an old terrifying wood god in Ruslavak.
Wait, I remember my aunt once. She once informed me of some of the old gods in the area. Is there not one called Nemesis?
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh.
Oh God.
She is a goddess of dispensing dues, and what better way to scare out brigands yet guarantee the
Holy
safety of the
shit.
righteous?
Fuck.
That's
If, if we invoke a god, we will have to pay proper tribute. I don't want to end up like
True.
Odysseus.
That's true.
That is true, yes.
Wait, what do you
that
call
is a
him up
good
here?
idea.
Ulysses?
That's a good idea, but Puck is right. We would have to pay due
That is-
to the god.
That is fine. I know how to pay tribute.
How?
So,
But you all will have to do it as well.
of course.
What,
That
what
is
must we
all.
do?
That is all right. Nemesis is actually my father's patron god of these land when he's
I would-
in these parts.
What is the tribute, Puck?
You will have to pay supplication and prayer, and most likely either blood, sweat, or both.
A small price to pay, I
Uh,
think, for the guaranteed safety of this village.
Which is odd because I don't think my father would ever hurt a fly. So why would? Questions later.
Hole like looks like away from the gathering for a second, then like looks out the door towards where I'm sure we can see the townsfolk milling about.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very well. We
Okay.
wish these folks well.
So,
We will do it.
this is a spiritual. This is a huge ritual spell. One person for each discipline that's involved. You guys should have notes on how to do your various rituals, but just so you know, an Arcanism check will take willpower plus willpower as a roll. Chimerism is insight plus willpower or might plus willpower, whichever works better. Elementalism is insight plus willpower. Entropism is insight plus willpower. Spiritism is insight plus willpower. I don't know what necromancy rituals are. Because it's not in my book, it's in the little,
I'll find it.
PDF. This is going to be an extreme spell, so it's going to cost
Ooh.
50 MP times 3, but you are
Ooh.
splitting it.
Okay.
Wait, sorry, not extreme. It's a major spell. It's a major
Well,
spell. So
it's essentially
40.
like-
So it's 120 MP split between 5 of you plus Puck, because Puck's there, so 5 of you plus Puck. So 5 of you, including Puck. Bleh. So 120 divided by 5 is
120 divided by 5 would be 24.
24 from each of us.
yes.
That's perfectly
Um,
doable.
So okay. Is there any way to like put a bonus to this?
I think it was Puck's help. It might.
I think with
'Cause
Puck's
I'm
help,
using
we're
insight willpower, but
Mhm.
I'm better at willpower than insight.
Okay, so here's the thing. No way to put a bonus, but this is a group check, so all you have to do is make the person with the highest roll for this the leader. And then everyone else adds to it. And I'm going to say, because so many of you are working together on it, the difficulty level is only 10 to get this to succeed.
Well, like it's
Okay.
not the leader.
Considering, I think, I don't know Puck's stats, but I think it would only be appropriate if he is
if
the
Puck
leader.
is the leader.
Puck's stats are absurd because he's a
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
he's a several millennia old fairy.
Fucking Seneschal.
Oh goddamn! I rolled a 12.
Puck rolled a 10, so we're good.
Oh.
It works. Okay, so I'm gonna just
How does a crit success work again?
I am going. You get an opportunity. So you get an opportunity because of that, because you rolled. Everyone else can
is
roll
that-
to just see if they get an opportunity from doing this. By the way, now because we succeeded, so now it's just for fun.
Okay. So
It-
I guess
Like
I should
how
do.
does getting a crit work? It's above 10, or
A crit is when you roll doubles, and they are double sixes, double sevens, double eights, double.
Okay.
Uh,
I did not crit. I did not crit. I got 2
Okay.
into 10.
Okay, what do I roll?
What stat
in-
for your?
For an entropist, we're just gonna go with that because it's in my book. It's insight plus willpower.
I
I looked it up. Necromancer doesn't have like its own ritualism, so we'll just stick with Entropist, I think.
Damn, Cassidy.
Okay.
Okay, so that costs 24 SP.
So now the roll is
Can
so
do.
now the roll is 12. Everyone else, seriously, do your roll. It'll just make it more powerful, and there's a possibility of getting an opportunity from
There's
doing
another
a
one.
crit. Now it's 13. Lucky 13. Leica, roll that beautiful.
I did, but I can roll again because
Good.
I only got a 5.
Oh, you got
Got
a
a
5.
five,
Okay,
yeah.
then fine. We got a 13. All right.
Yeah.
So, you guys, head out under Puck's lead, and eventually you find where the taxmen are currently trooping. They are led by their leader, who has somewhat more elaborate armor than the others. Zoom in all the way. You can see that beautiful boy.
Oh my god, he's got a Megatron bucket head.
Yeah, and he's got way
Oh
more
my God.
coins on his person.
Oh my
Um,
god.
Kind of love his arm guard. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'm very fond of that armor type. The weird segmented snake arms that you
Oh,
get in a
that-
lot of like ancient Roman armor.
That is cool.
So you guys cast this spell hidden in the security of the woods and under Puck's magic misdirection, and you create this magic phantasm that the trees shake and the sounds of animals howling and screaming and roaring fills the air as the taxmen begin to get very nervous because these woods have been dead silent for most of their time tromping through here, and now they are alive with life. And Puck makes his voice boom. Who dares defile the sanctity of the Dreamwood? And then the cacophony of animal noise grows louder as spectral monsters emerge from the trees, fueled in part by Cassidy's own ghostly influence on the spell. And the most monstrous, phantasmal hobgoblin emerges from the roiling mist. These woods are under the protection of Robin Goodfellow, Puck, Seneschal of the King Oberon of the Dark Court. You are not welcome here. And the taxmen shake. And rising from the ground are the zombified, nightmarish, ghoulish corpses of their dead comrades, which begin to moan, "Run! Run while you can!" Before they
Holy
run
shit.
away into nothingness before them, and the taxmen fucking scream, and all these fucking goons book it out of the forest.
was
And
fun.
you wait until they're long gone. The illusion subsides, and Puck smiles genuinely with absolute mirth, and one might even say puckish mischief, and looks at you with sort of a renewed joie de vivre, and he's like, "We did it!
We did.
We scared them off! The woods are safe!"
When the tricks no longer work, it's time to get new tricks.
I'm
I was
I'd
not
like
expecting
to-
that to be so easy.
I wasn't either.
I
I suppose our magic works well in tandem.
Really?
Yes. Good touch with the undead, Cassidy.
I had fun with that.
I'm really glad it worked. Not used to things working out for me.
That was
Aw.
Yes, I
I
was expecting some kind of setback.
I just hope Nemesis doesn't mind us invoking her name at all.
I think
What?
she'll like how this turned out. Come back to my town. We will throw a feast.
Well,
No,
that's quite all right.
please.
We've seen what kind of straits you're in. We don't need any excess.
Well, a celebration at any chance. We will have
Yeah.
song. We will have dance. We will.
This is a reason to be happy.
This is a happy day.
a happy moment.
And
Well,
having spoken with some of your vassals, I guess it would be accurate to say they could use some happy.
So you guys return to the village, and have a nice night.
Are we getting ready to end, or?
No, we got a half hour left. But you have a nice night.
Cassidy.
Mhm.
Did you like dance in your life?
Sometimes.
Are they playing music?
Yeah, they are absolutely playing music.
Paul will extend a hand.
Cassidy will hesitantly take it.
I will absolutely seek out Scary Shanks and dance with them.
Aww.
Yes.
Then perhaps I can give you a dance.
Is Puck playing or dancing?
Oh, he is absolutely playing a fiddle, and dancing at the same time. Like he is putting all his use as court jester and entertainer, all of his skill to use to not only entertain you but his citizens.
Aw.
And the others are joining in. Hobgoblins and goblins are an intensely musical people.
Am I
Of
able
course.
to hold Cassidy's hand?
Yeah, she can definitely manifest enough to give a physical sensation. Although it's strange,
Uh-huh.
it's not quite like holding solid matter, but it's not quite like holding liquid either.
It's like a water balloon.
It's like a heavy cold on your hand.
Oh.
It almost feels like you're holding ice, but without the tactile sensation of ice, just that weight of cold.
Kind of like when the mist is and fog is like really thick and cold.
Yeah.
Thing is, it was just like
Well, yeah, they will dance with Cassidy. Their knowledge of dance comes from their half that was male, so they'll take that position in a dance.
Aw.
I do like to think that for a ghost to make themselves tangible, it's like flexing a muscle for them.
Mm-hmm.
It's something they could do with effort, but they can't maintain it forever.
Yeah, and it depends on the type of ghost, because there are some ghosts where being corporeal is their normal mode, but those tend to be particularly strong ghosts. Most ghosts having any sort of manifestation at all requires work.
So yeah, that would give Cassidy an excuse to sleep, quote unquote, like the rest of us.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm counting this as an interlude scene. Again, if you want to add,
I would
create, or change bonds, you may do so now. And make a note of
Uh,
doing that right now if you want to, before we move on to our next scene.
I'm going to let's see. So can only add or change one thing, right?
You can You can change as many as you want because that's always a lateral move. You
Can
can
we, like, add to something?
you can add to an existing bond or create a new bond, but you can't do both. And you can only do one of each. Or one of either.
Man, I want to make a bond with Puck, but I also want to do something with Cassidy.
Probably do something with Cassidy, probably prioritize that, because there's
Yeah,
no
'cause we're
guarantee you're
here
coming
longer.
back to the Dreamwoods.
Yeah.
Way off to the side.
Oh, they've already got an affection marked for Cassidy. I'm going to add admiration.
Oh,
They were quite impressed by your magic during the ritual, and also the fact that, you know, you're dead, but you're still, like, you know, trying to, you know, do stuff. You've not let being dead stop you.
used to be motivated by a burning need for vengeance. Now it's like actually kind of rewarding on its own.
Aw. Have you added anything, Lydia, to yours?
Not yet.
Definitely got a bond of loyalty to Puck.
I wanted to add thoughts of my inter-character
Alright, I
one.
just have
Yeah.
a way to go
More
fix
important.
my ceiling fan. What did I miss?
Party with the having a party with the goblins, and
Having a
also because
party.
it's an interlude scene, where you are allowed to add a bond or create a new bond, and also change as many bonds as you like if you feel the need.
Alright, Puck is loyal.
I added to my Cassidy, which was admiration. I think Folly is not changing. Beatrice isn't changing.
I think
Cool.
I'll throw an admiration on Alex's because dude's been standing up for a lot of heavy shit. He's just a kid.
Yeah. You know what? Yeah, that's a good point. I'm gonna.
Remember,
That's
you only
good.
get to add to one or create one right now. You can't do multiples.
Well, you said you could alter as many as you want, though.
Yeah, you can alter. So if you have a bond that like it was, you know, you can take a bond that you already have a point in and switch that to a different trait. You know, so if you had trust, you can make that mistrust or whatever, but you can't add to it. You can't strengthen that bond unless you're making that your one bond that you're modifying.
Okay.
I kind of want to add to these, but I don't. There's nothing. I can't take things away yet.
Mm-hmm.
The inferiority they feel to Alex and Leica being, you know, normal has not gone away.
Yeah, Leica is like has a bit of impish smugness that her plan worked.
Yeah, it's a good plan.
Excellent plan.
That would have been something I added to, but I mean, I started dancing with Cassidy. I had to add to that one.
It spared us of having to confront more taxmen, getting them into more danger and endangering the stone. And this way, I think it's a more lasting solution than scaring off one band of brigands.
And also, given how magic works, the more people believe this shit is real, the more it's probably going to empower the magic of this area.
Might bring some life back. Robin
Also,
will just be out walking one day.
Also, fairies from other lands hear that this place, that Robin Goodfellow is not only still alive, but is under his sanctuary and protection.
Yeah.
You might see an exodus of fairies here.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
God, my voice has just been getting steadily scratchier.
It's all right. We got 20 minutes left. You only got to hold out 20 more minutes.
Let's go.
Leica's helped the legend grow of someone else.
Yeah. Cassidy. Lydia. Oh, she must have got it. Okay. Carry on.
All right. Any other changes, or are we going to the next scene?
Next scene.
All right. In the morning, Puck and the others see you off and give you directions for the best paths to take out of the Dreamwoods. Towards have you decided Vestia or Junotonia?
I think Vestia was our goal.
All right, to
Yeah.
Vestia then.
Fine with me.
As you reach the cross,
Go on.
as you reach the crossroads,
Oh, that's always fun.
Oh God.
go ahead and put yourselves on the map.
Dude.
Oh no.
His
healing
smile
myself because
fair as spring, as towards you he draws you.
Can we heal our stuff because we slept?
You slept. You're all healed up. You're fine.
Okay, cool. Lydia. Matt.
Nah, she's got it.
There we go.
All right. As you are on the crossroads,
Oh God.
you happen upon, you see ahead of you, not noticing you because their backs are turned to you. Many of the very same goons you scared off with Puck the other day. Their boss is scolding them and it's like, can't believe that they didn't tell me the woods were haunted by ghosties and boogans. It's like, sir, we haven't encountered anything like that. We were robbing people real good out here. Quiet. All right, we can't be going back there anymore. We just can't. It's not safe for the likes of us. And as they're arguing, would you guys like to make would you like to hide? And would you
Yes.
like to normally hiding would just be a double dex check, but you can justify using other stuff to hide if you have a specific method.
Can
Like, if
I? Is there some kind of like magical way to hide myself? Oh, can I make like a heat haze? You know, where
illusion magic is pretty simple magic and like in universe. So I would say you could justify not having to spend MP to do that just do like a double insight check or an insight willpower check.
We'll roll
yeah,
again.
insight
Just
willpower.
see if that's okay. It's not roll 20.
Insight willpower. Yeah.
I'm a rogue.
Hey, if you'd like, you could
9.
spend a Fabula point to re-roll one of those dice.
I'll use the Fabula point to.
What did I get?
So could I
Reroll
use
that
like
too.
my willpower in conjunction with like the Chimera subset to sort of erase my presence? You know, like
Yeah, absolutely. To basically blend in with the natural world. I can see that.
all right, cool. So color change frog skin, go.
And I'm
Yeah,
gonna,
Raven.
because they're already distracted and spook, I'm gonna give you all a conditional +4 bonus.
Okay.
Then I wouldn't
You can
even-
accuse
so
me
I-
of
so I
accuse me of being cheap, but I feel like you earned it. You pulled off a victory there through a means I did not expect, and I like rewarding that as a GM.
That was
Ooh,
one off
critical
my-
success.
You got an
Alright.
opportunity, my man.
All right, so I'll
Ooh.
just not take the foul point. I'll just get that 10 to.
Yeah. All right. So you all managed to hide, which is good because while the taxman wouldn't have noticed you, the fellows coming down the way would have. You see three warriors in bronze but very
Oh,
heavy
fuck.
armor. Their helmets are done in almost a throwback style to ancient Mediterranean armor, with the mohawk of a myrmidon, as well as sculpted antennae onto the top of their helmets. Their shields bear an ancient holy symbol of the god Mars, which is a skull on fire.
The Mars Militia.
And they hold gladiuses. And the taxmen are like, "Oi!" The boss stands up. "There's a toll to get through here." and one of the militiamen cocks their head ever so slightly like Michael Myers and says, "Do you know who you're talking to, little man?"
Oh,
Oh, that's
Yeah,
some
true
brilliantly.
of rubes. If you haven't noticed, you're outnumbered. We're the taxmen. Oh, I've heard of you. Yeah, I bet you have. We're a real force to be reckoned with these parts, so I suggest you give us some of that shiny armor and any gold you got on your person, and we'll call it square. I have a better idea. At which point he swings out and decapitates the boss with one stroke.
shit.
Oh,
And you
Jesus.
see each of the cashmen in turn, before they can even get their weapons drawn, is taken out by these 3 soldiers with brutal swiftness and efficiency.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.
And as the Mars militia members slaughter these goons in a matter of seconds, like it takes less than a minute for them to kill 7 men. They each plant their sword in the bodies of one of the fallen, utter a quiet prayer to Mars, look to the woods, and one says, "Do you think it's right? Do you think it is haunted?" Then it says, "The woods are not the concern of our God. It is the cities. That is where one makes glorious war. To Junotonia. To Junotonia!"
Oh.
TT,
Yes?
before they leave, may I spend my opportunity
Yes.
to discover a vulnerability
Ooh.
Hmm.
or a trait of
Yeah.
these soldiers? Because I get the feeling this is not going to be the last time we run into them.
Okay. A trait of these soldiers. The Mars militia soldiers, as you see them, you recognize a rune etched onto their armor. A rune that grants resistance to fire. And indeed a similar rune upon their swords, which grants fire damage to their blows. So if you're facing the Mars militia, using fire against them will be less helpful, and they will be using fire against you.
Mm.
That sounds disturbingly similar to the sword I just picked up.
A flame burge? Perhaps.
Mhm.
Although that was of goblin make, their swords are very much of human make.
I got you, but still.
Oof.
When they leave, you are left with 7 corpses. Do you leave your hiding places?
Wait a minute. So they're like gone.
Yeah, give it like an extra 10 minutes.
I'm gonna look to the closest the person closest to me, probably Laika, right?
That's what it looks like on the map.
I'm asking Kay. You open to this?
Sure, like it's right there, right there.
It's like, did you see their armor?
Yes, I did.
My auntie, she showed me like different ways of enchanting like items, and on their equipment it was runes of fire. They're heading towards town.
They said, "Well," they said they're gonna burn it.
Normally I wouldn't be concerned about 3 renegades, but they just killed 7 men without effort, and I doubt they're the only ones. I know we weren't planning to head to Junatono, but we gotta at least warn them, right? Like, you're the expert here, I think.
Like it looks to 14. It's like, how would we warn them without,
You guys have not told 14 to unfurl since the night in
Yep.
the bar.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, we asked them a question.
Did we?
Yeah, about his
Yeah.
apartment.
Yeah, and then you guys went to sleep.
Oh, right.
Oh,
Whatever
He
the
has
case,
not
I'll tap
woken
him
up
awake.
during this whole adventure.
I will reach into the bag, tap him awake. Is 14. 14.
Yes. Hello.
No, quiet.
quiet.
Oh, okay.
We just had a close encounter with some Mars militia.
His little iris shrinks in his one eye. Are they around?
They've gone down the road. I don't think they noticed us, but
They are the sworn enemy of Master Ozymandias.
They're heading for
Ah, fuck.
Genitonia to, I think, pillage and burn it to the ground.
Yeah, that sounds like what they do.
can
Is there any way to warn the town
yeah,
without?
you. What about you? I know you're fast. You can fly. You think you can beat them to the town and warn them?
So, 14's head is a diamond-shaped piece of metal, and it has one eye. So, expressing emotion is not like super intuitive with it, and yet in that eye and in its body language, you see very palpable fear.
Oh.
I could do that. Yes.
I don't.
I know. Oh, that's a lot to ask of you. And go look around to the others. We're going to try and help, right?
What?
I think we're very much outmatched here in terms of equipment, armor.
Yeah, we can't stand against them on their own, but maybe if we can
Although
help the city. I mean, I'm gonna look to.
you said they were immune to fire or resistant to fire.
Yeah, their
But they're also
armor.
heavily, TT, on the one, how heavily armored would you say these guys are?
Really heavily armored.
So basically, if we drop them in a river, they're gonna sink.
You can go ahead and think that.
I'm gonna look to a hole. It's like you. I've seen you use water magic, right?
Yes, I do know water magic.
And you used to be a healer. I mean, healing is about helping people, and sometimes ounce of prevention, pound of cure, right? You can't just let them burn down a whole city.
You see them shake a little.
Yeah. In many ways, as you guys discuss this, the mood seems to grow dark, and in fact, the sky grows dark. When you look up, you realize that there are black clouds, and as you breathe, you suddenly detect the very thick stench of smoke in the air.
Coming
Oh.
from their direction.
And the
And-
grassland around you is gone. Replaced with scarred and blackened, smoke-blackened dirt.
Uh-oh.
And
We're
where
like
there
all
were
fucked,
once
we're at a crossroads.
where there were once 7 bodies, there now are thousands.
Oh,
God damn it, crossroads.
What
We're
is
in
happening?
hell.
And as you look at the bodies, you notice something odd. For while they are clearly corpses and you can see wounds, they don't have faces.
oh.
And it takes a second for you to realize it, but also they're all the exact same shape and size.
Alright.
What is
There are
going on?
fires flickering in the distance, and you see beneath the now very smoky, hazy sky, in the far distance, a temple.
What is the temple?
And you hear a voice boom from the heavens. Stand aside, mortals! I take large steps!
Oh God!
As something enormous falls from the sky a huge burning meteorite, which collides with a mound of corpses a few hundred feet away and sends them flying into the air. And unfurling from the flames is a towering humanoid figure in segmented armor.
Oh
Oh,
no.
Oh, God damn it.
And
It's-
you
it's either Ares
recognize...
or-
You
Ares or
recognize...
the
You,
devil.
hey, let me talk, goddammit! You recognize the form of Mars, the god of war. And that's where we're going to end off tonight on Wake of the Red Death.
Well, fuck.